you are live.
I have to make a tea.
All right, let me see if everybody's here, if it's working. It says I'm live.
Doesn't look like it, right?
I gotta turn on this first real quick. And we'll see. All right, we're live, but nobody is there yet. Gogo's there yet. Hey, Gogo. Nice to see you, and thanks for staying up so late with us, because I know you are on the other side of the planet. Well, not completely, but somewhere in Europe. I don't remember when, so it's late for you. Madiak, hello. Lisa Myers, hi. Christine, hi. Kristin Tudela, hello. Bev, hello. Bobby, hi. Nancy, hi. Christopher, hi. And whoever else is here, hello. Give me 1 minute or so, because you guys know I have to turn on everything and get everything set up. So first of all, I need to add to the Discord link. Let me get that. Where's Discord? There it is. And invite people. And there it is. So in the description I'm trying to put, let me see if I can put it here. Here we go. The Discord link. So if you want to join my Discord server, here is the link. And then the new channel, JeffMara NDE clips, and that's growing. I think more people are finally finding out about that. So let me put that link there too. Okay, where is it? There it is. All right, let me put here, it's not a short, this is the live stream. And let me help people just find this real quick. Almost ready. Okay. There we go. Live. All right. So happy Saturday to all of you on my side of the planet. To all of you guys on the other side, happy Sunday. Let's see who else is here. Linda, hello. Rusty, Elena, Dana, Christine, Myrell, Metatron. This is Clarion Call. Studio LB, Wendy, Christopher, Penny. Hello to everybody, and thank you guys for being with me today. I wasn't sure how many of you guys were going to show up. I never know, but there's already a lot of you here, so that's awesome. And Merlin's here. So since Merlin's here, let's get started and see what Merlin has for us today, and see if he has any readings for us, which Merlin usually does. So we've been giving 3 readings the past few times Merlin has been here. And this doesn't look like, is this you, Merlin?
Yep, it's me. How are you?
How are you? Usually you have something over you. I don't think I've seen you so clearly before.
Well, I usually like wearing my my American hat with the American flag on it. I like wearing that one a lot, and because it's like I like to be a little patriotic, you know.
Yeah.
I was in the Marines, you know. I'm a Marine vet.
Oh wow.
Yeah. I was an infantry 0311 rifleman.
Wow, that's amazing.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So what are you doing now that you're out?
Oh, I'm thinking. I'm trying to like venture out and get into the entrepreneur business and field like that. Like I'm working with a few people,
Awesome.
but mainly working with one person right now on trying to get things started
Yeah.
and
What kind
build.
of what kind of business do you want to do?
Um, I kind of like I'm gonna start working and putting more content out on YouTube, my YouTube channel.
Good.
I'm gonna try to I'm gonna try to put different videos about channeling,
Hmm.
um why, and I'm working on another one right now. It's why does astrology work no matter where you're at in the universe, or what kind of sentient life form you happen to be.
Hmm.
Astrology can still apply to you. It doesn't matter. It just works everywhere. It's not just based on a rock here.
I didn't
But
realize
hey,
I didn't
yes, sir.
realize you were so involved in astrology. I thought you mostly did readings.
No, 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 no. I haven't been that strong in astrology, but I've just now started like really getting into that. But mainly I've been focusing on tarot. Because I feel like I'm an amateur at astrology. So
Hmm.
um
A lot of people in
but
now
I'm
think they use computer programs.
yes, cafeastrology.com. I know all my chart and everything like that. So it's very insightful to help you. But I saw your Facebook post about NASA is starting to take the UFOs more seriously now.
Yeah, that's pretty
And
crazy, right?
yeah, finally, how many years since Roswell 47?
Yeah, yeah. I didn't for the and what Merlin is speaking about is I have a Facebook page. I guess it's at JeffMara Podcast on Facebook. And the other day I posted, I think it was in the Daily Mail, which is British news. And so they had posted an article about now NASA's going to start getting involved with the search for UFOs.
Yes, sir.
That's
Yes,
pretty
sir.
that's
About
pretty
time.
wild. I have a feeling that disclosure is going to be coming pretty soon. I think it's
Oh,
all this stuff is coming out.
they
Um,
got to.
and
You know,
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
they got to come out with disclosure now because the world's at a breaking point. I feel like we're at a tipping point. If we do not like change the course that we're going on,
Mm,
it's not going to be good. So the only way we can actually get peace is if they come out with disclosure, like, hey, guess what? You all got to get along pretty much because there's bigger fish out there. All
yeah,
right, there's more life than us. We're not the biggest fish in the pond.
right.
Okay.
I mean,
Yes,
talk
sir.
about if UFOs came and other beings, how unifying that would be for humanity. We'd probably
Oh,
start to unify,
well,
not be
well,
so
well,
bickering.
not at first. People are going to be freaking out.
Yeah,
They're going to be like calling them demons, calling them. They don't look. Just because there's other life forms, they're not human beings, doesn't make them demons. Now, I'm not going to discount that,
right.
because if you study the locusts, there's like seven different heaven realms and seven different lower vibrational realms. So it's like heaven and hell. Yes, I will agree. There's possibility there's some demonic crap that's coming in here as
Hmm.
well,
Hmm.
but there's other things that are not demons, and they're very intelligent. We can't be the most intelligent beings that God created. It doesn't make sense. The universe is way too big, and if God is a like if he can really do the impossible, there's nothing impossible to God. Then what makes us think that he can't create other life forms that are as intelligent or more intelligent than we are? It doesn't make any sense to me.
Yeah.
But at first, I believe when the disclosure comes out, there's going to be like panic, of course, but eventually people will start to warm up to the disclosure. And sorry, there's traffic going down.
I don't hear anything.
Oh, it's just some motorcycles, but always we get a lot of them. Um, but yeah, it's coming, and I think in the end, it's going to be for the best for us. And maybe they'll start releasing these technologies they've been suppressing, and it can like lighten the load and help people live a better quality life. That's what I'm thinking. I think there are technologies they're suppressing. Okay,
Mm,
it's all about profit, and it's ultimately about control. That's what
mm,
it is. It comes down to control.
Right.
who dictates what. But that's not why I really came here. I mean, I just you just like the reason I started talking about that was because of I saw your NASA thing. I was like, yes,
Hmm.
finally. But I
So
wanted to do a tarot reading.
all
I want to
right.
do some tarot.
He's going to do some tarot readings. Let's see if we got any. I'm sure there's people here. I announced you as you were first popping in online, and I haven't looked back. If any, I usually take the first 3 people that want a tarot reading. Let me kind of scroll back in the chat and see if anybody, how far back I need to go. I see people saying hello. I saw someone saying hello to Merlin.
Hey.
Anyways, we'll just start from now. All right, so for the first 3 people who want a reading, let me know in the chat. If you want a reading. And Madiak, yes, I did. Thank you very much for that. I appreciate you, and appreciate your kind gift. Let's see. Would love a reading. Now they got to tell you what question they have, right?
Yes, sir.
You got to
yes,
give us a question for Merlin. So for all of you who are saying would like or would love a reading, you've got to tell us what do you want him to discover for you, because everybody's saying yes, 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 yes. I do. Yes. Are you still doing them on Sundays?
Yes. Well, you know what? I've been kind of down because of what's happening. So I've been kind of sad, but I'm better now, and I'm more hopeful that things will get better.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm gonna start it back up on Sundays, and it's all free on Discord.
Okay.
Now on my page, I'm gonna start like seeing if people want to donate or whatever.
Right.
But on Discord, it's free.
All right. So hopefully they got that. All right. The first one, Dragonfly wants a reading on his or her finances.
All right. Okay. So Dragonfly. All right.
Okay. I will see. I'm at the first one before that.
Okay. Dragonfly. Okay. I got the Dreamer. 2 cards fell out, but they weren't turned over. So I'm gonna put those back in the pile. But the one that did turn over is the Dreamer. Okay, so that's like the Fool in regular tarot. Okay, it's represented by Archangel Metatron. It says a leap of faith, follow your dreams, and unexpected opportunities. Okay.
All right. So what do you mean by that? So what should this person do? Take a leap of faith?
Absolutely. That's what's indicating. It's like he's doubting himself with finances, but he doesn't. He's lacking belief. So he needs to get that. He needs to believe in himself more, or her needs to believe, he or she needs to believe in themselves and take that leap of faith and follow your dreams. Is what it's saying, and it says unexpected opportunities as well.
Cool.
So
all right. I hope that means something for you, Dragonfly. Kristin Tutela
okay.
Would like to know about family unity. I'm assuming that's the question. Are you gonna...
Family unity. Okay. Whoa. Reverse. 9 of fire reverse. Okay. In the upright, it says, "Don't give up. Protect what you've created. Have courage." Okay, so it's reverse. I have to draw another card for that because that's to get clarification about unity, family unity.
All right.
Unity for her.
And Dragonfly says, "Thank you. It means a lot." So that must have meant something to her or him.
Much welcome. It's my pleasure to help people. Okay, family unity. Please, family unity. What is the message? Oh, wow. Okay, cool. 2 cards fell out. Whoa, okay. All right. I think this one fell out in reverse, but this one for sure. 5 of Earth. For this person, it says fears surrounding money, the wisdom to accept help from others, uncertain self-employment for the 5 of Earth in the upright position. So is this person with a family struggling with finances or something?
Yeah, I don't know.
Okay. and also got the air, Queen of Air. I'm just gonna read the Queen of Air in the upright for this person. I don't feel like it's reversed. It says objective decision making, clearing away all that no longer serves you, seeing the humor in a situation. It says independent, experienced, realistic, and witty. Don't take yourself so seriously. Yeah. So with the finances, probably got some financial thing going on with family, but you
Remember
got to
this
see
one.
things. You got to see things outside the box concerning family life.
This one was about family unity.
Right. Well, there must be some kind of distance in the family because they won't know about unity, but see things from an objective point of view with the Queen of Air, and it's also involving finances in some way. I feel like what's this person's what is this person?
It's interesting. Yeah, you know, finances. People fighting over finances can break families apart. So the person's name is Kristin Tutela. So maybe that Kristin, that means anything.
They may not be fighting. They may not be fighting, but there is a calling to see things from outside perspective, from outside the box, instead of being to see a clear and more broader view of the situation. Like, okay, I know you're limited time.
We got
but,
one last one here, and that was who was the next one? That was Cheryl Rusinski would like to know about her retirement. I guess she's wants to know if she's going to retire soon or not, or what's going to happen. I don't know. Yes. So, by the way, while he's shuffling the deck on, I'm not sure what it is. It was either Sundays or he was doing free readings one day a week in the Discord channel. So if you go in the Discord and you go into it, I have 3 different rooms, and one of the rooms is called services. He'll post in there when he's getting free readings. If you want a free reading, if you want a more, you know, he doesn't do free readings, but if you want another way of reading, you can check out his website. What is your website?
Well, I'm on Facebook. My Facebook page. Yes, my Facebook page is Merlin and the Fae King's Crown.
All right, Merlin in the what?
Fae Kings, like FAE.
Oh, Merlin in the Fae King's room.
No, crown, sir.
Crown. Okay, thank you. Yes, Merlin and the Fae King's Crown.
Yes,
Am I
sir.
saying that right?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. It's, Merlin and the Fae King's Crown. But I think you actually said Queen. I'll take that too, though.
No, okay. Merlin in the Fae King's Crown.
Yes, sir. Right. Absolutely. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
That's where it is. You know, you might want to try is you should live stream on YouTube and just and I wonder how that would be if you ever wanted to practice too, just live streaming, giving people readings.
Well, I only got I think you have to have a certain amount of subscribers to live stream on YouTube, because I think it told me 1,000, and I only have 21 subs on my YouTube channel.
All right.
So I can't do that yet, but I can do that on Facebook. I can live stream on Facebook. Cool. But she want to know about retirement, I feel like.
Right. She want to know about retirement. That was Cheryl.
Okay, retirement for her. Okay. How many cards? Okay, cool. Again with a Queen of Air. Okay. Here's what it says. First, I got the 5 of water for her. Okay. It's 5 of Cups. It says things not turning out the way you hope. Not seeing the positive in a situation, crying over spilled milk, as you can see. The 5 of, I don't know if y'all can see that. I don't know the quality of the image for y'all guys.
That's hard to understand what that is, yeah.
And again, the Queen of Air, pretty much seeing things from outside perspective. And the Page of Water. Pages are new beginnings. Every page is about new beginnings and turning a page. It says intuitive, sensitive, artistic, friendly, and it says a new person enters your life, a relationship begins a new phase, heightened psychic, and also can be about heightened psychic abilities as well. But the first card's pretty much a bigger indicator. Seeing things, you gotta see things from a larger perspective, and don't cry over spilled milk, and you're not seeing the positive in the situation that you're going through. And it's not turning out the way you hoped. That's what the card's saying.
Well, I hope that means something to you, Cheryl.
I do too. Does. Thank you for having me on. Thank you so much.
Thank you for coming and sharing with us, Merlin. Hope to see you back next week.
Yes, sir. And I'll do free tarot on Discord
All right,
as
cool.
well.
Check him out on Discord. Hang out with him if you want a reading. See you later, bud.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
All right, so that was Merlin. There was someone here named Yo, but he disappeared. And now we have Adam Stargazing Astrology. So we'll see what's up with Adam. I think Adam was here last week. And we'll see what's going on with Adam.
Want a reading? See you later, bud.
Thank you.
I just muted Adam for a moment. When he comes, I'll let him know. If you're hearing me, Adam, turn off the YouTube, turn down the volume or turn off the volume on the YouTube window, so that way you won't, I won't have to hear myself again. And Metatron, this is Clarion Call. If you would like, you're welcome to come and maybe do some live channeling with us. So the Discord link is in the description below, and there we go. Hey, Adam.
Hey, Jeff.
How's it going?
It's going pretty good. Yeah, how are you doing?
Great. I love the decoration of your room. I love all the plants.
Thank you. Yeah, they're over the years the leaves have kind of fallen off a little bit, but
they look healthy.
I tried to take good care of them and treat them like my little children.
Where are you from again? I forgot. California?
Yeah, I'm in Santa Cruz.
All right. Santa Cruz. Is that like somewhere between LA and San Francisco?
Yeah, it's 80 miles south of San Francisco, and it's sitting on the north part of the Monterey Bay.
Nice.
Yeah.
So you got what do you got for us today? I mean, I don't remember. I was trying to remember. What did we talk about was it last week or 2 weeks ago that you were here?
It was 2 weeks ago.
2 weeks ago. All right. So
yeah.
What's going on in the astrology world?
So I am here to talk a little bit about what's going to be going on during this Gemini new moon, which is going to be on May 30th, which, folks, we know May 30th is that exciting Memorial Day. So the new moon happens when the sun sign and the moon sign are in the same astrological sign. So in this case, it would be Gemini. And with Gemini, we get communications, we get short trips, and we get restlessness. So this moon cycle will definitely want to spark some interest in trips. And another hallmark aspect of this will be the position of Mercury. Mercury is still in retrograde in Taurus. So right now is the time to be reviewing financial decisions. And if there's anything in relation to finances, as far as buying and selling houses or the stock market or the crypto market, we will gain more clarity around that after June 3rd, when Mercury goes direct.
Wow. Yeah. Well, that's, the economy is huge right now with the housing market, crypto, the stock market. So I guess you hit it right on the nail of the head that maybe you should wait until after June, whatever, 3rd or 4th, before you start making some decisions.
There's two pretty like high potency level planets that are running through Aries right now. And Aries is the first sign of the zodiac, and it can bring anger and it can bring violence. We have Mars, and Mars rules war, it rules anger, it rules violence, it rules passion. It's just gone into the astrological sign of Aries. So things are going to be kind of explosive right now with the Mars and Aries, as we just saw, in relation to some of the events that have gone on. Mars is sitting right next to Jupiter, and it's blowing it up. Jupiter is the planet of expansion. So whatever planet it sits next to, it blows it up. So we're seeing things being blown up. And Jupiter and Saturn are planets that rule the social spectrum. So that being said, Jupiter and Mars, we're going to see things blowing up. We're going to see violence. We're going to see anger. We're going to see protests. It's going to be very much around morals as related to Jupiter, and the social spectrum and related to Jupiter as well.
So besides astrology, are you into numerology as well?
I love numerology. Yes.
All right. So, do you play around with numbers, or do you always see numbers and think about things when you see numbers?
That's a good question. There's been the really popular what was that, the 333.
333. I think 1111. So angel numbers.
Yeah, I also kind of relate to the fours as well. Definitely the threes and definitely the ones. And it's something that is I've noticed has kind of linked it to the mainstream the past couple years. Some of my special number has always been 7. Do you have like a special number that
No,
you?
but it's funny is, well, you weren't here, but last week was my birthday,
Oh, happy
521.
birthday.
What? Thank you. Yeah, it's what's close. I guess if you add them up, it's an 8. But I think I mentioned it last podcast that out of any number that I see, like if I'm walking by a clock and I see a number, I always see my birthday. It's weird. I just see 521. It's the strangest thing.
Oh,
So what does that
interesting.
mean?
So do you wake up at like 5:21 and?
I guess it's probably either I happen to wake up and see, look at the clock and wonder what time it is. Probably more often than not, it's 5:21 in the afternoon, and I just happen to walk by a clock and see see the time, and it's 5:21.
I would relate that to an angel number for you. Yeah, that's kind of how I would look at that. I know there's specific like numeral names like first, middle, and last names. You can do all sorts of numerology with that. So yeah, I know like life path number, personality number. Do you know any of those? Do you know your soul urge number or destiny number?
No.
Yeah, it's all very interesting stuff.
Yeah, I don't know, but yeah, it is a strange thing. Why that? Is it that I'm just keyed in? I know the number obviously, and I don't pay attention to all the other numbers. Do I have a bias, or is it something that's really trying someone to reach out to me? That's the question.
Oh, in relation to always saying the 5:21?
Right. Like I said, is it just a coincidence and I have a bias because that number means something to me? Or is it really an angel or another being reaching out to me? That's the interesting question.
Could be a bit of both.
Yeah.
So yeah, so we have so let's see here. So yeah, I mentioned that Mercury and Gemini, the really intense Jupiter.
You
so
said,
the sun and the moon.
sorry to interrupt you, but so what you were saying earlier is this is a good weekend for taking trips, short trips.
Yeah, this is a good weekend for short trips. Not a good weekend for making any investments, right, or buying and selling.
So don't buy something big this weekend.
Yeah, there's a possibility for debated heat and arguments, but I think we should probably leave that to the political spectrum right now, because people could be getting really, really heated and really debated.
Right.
Venus rules relationships. It's in a really tense aspect. It's called a square aspect to Pluto, and Pluto represents power. So whenever Venus is in relationships in a square aspect to Pluto, there's a lot of power games going on and a lot of power struggles, and power dynamics.
So, all right.
Yeah.
So that means might be something going on with you and your partner, or whoever, your partner, your friend, your lover, loved one, spouse.
Could be.
All of the above. All right, bud. Well, thanks for coming and giving us some astrology. I hope you come back and give us some more.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Stopping by.
Yeah, so my YouTube channel is
yes.
Yeah, it's Adam Stargazing Astrology, and then I offer all types of readings. So all of my information is under the contact section.
Okay. Do you have a website? Do you have a website too, or just a YouTube channel?
I just have a YouTube channel.
Okay, so there you guys have it. If you want an astrological reading, there you can find him there. Also, if you ever want to, maybe you don't need to practice. Maybe you're already great. But on my Discord, I let, people who are into do energy work, or like Merlin was just there that does tarot cards. If you're willing to do some for free, I have about 300 and something people there, and there's an actual room called services. And if you ever want to go in there and say, hey guys, every Friday nights from, I don't know, 9 to 10, I do free astrological readings. If you ever want to practice or whatever, that's available for you, and you're welcome to go in there and join with everybody else.
Okay, great. And then where do I find that?
Do you have a Discord? Do you know what Discord is?
I don't.
Discord is kind of like Facebook, but better and different. You can video chat, you can audio chat, there's rooms that I set up where you can post whatever you want, memes, videos, jokes, whatever. It's free to get a profile. You just go to discord.com, set up your profile, and then once you get that, in my description right now, the second one down is a link, and then that'll get you into my Discord server, they call it, just all my Discord rooms.
Okay, cool.
And you're welcome to post your stuff there too. I don't mind if you want to post your YouTube channel or, whatever you want. You're welcome to promote yourself.
Okay, awesome. Thank you.
And that goes with anybody else who's watching too. So there it is.
Okay,
all right,
great.
Adam, thank you so much for hanging out with us today. Have a great rest of your holiday weekend.
Bye, guys.
All right, cheers. And that was Adam. So that was cool. We had an astrological report and tarot. And what do you guys think? You can let me know in the chat. When I see my birthday, 5/21, do you think it's just a confirmational bias because I know the numbers? Or do you think that somebody is really reaching out to me? And I'll tell you a wild story here. Let me just get a drink of my wife's chai. And before we get started, there's 188 people. So that means that 1.88 people should be ready to get in the room with me. And that's just a low percentage. That's 1%. So I can tell you about this as well. It was about a week ago, I would assume. No longer than 2 weeks ago. And I was asleep, dreaming, kind of, I don't know if I was really in and out of a dream, maybe finishing a dream, if that makes any sense. And I heard a voice and it said, hey, Jeff. And I don't even know, it sounded like it was outside of the dream, and it kind of startled me. I woke up, and I think I even woke up and looked around and just, I had to just finally say, maybe it was another voice in my dream, but I was just like, whoa, you know what I mean? It's almost like someone else was talking to me, and I told my wife about it, and she was like, why didn't you wake me up? And I was like, well, what's the point of waking you up? Then you might not be able to go back to sleep. And I'll finish that in a second. Someone says my 521 is a relevant number. You can start receiving other ones. Someone says it's my lower self. Interesting. I believe when you see your birthday, angels are telling you to focus on yourself. That's interesting. Okay, thank you for that, Raindrops. All right, Metatron, if you want to join, right below the video, it shows a Zoom ID and password. If you have Zoom, you just, get on your Zoom, click join room, and then it's going to ask you for the room ID and password, and that's how you do it. So anyways, yeah, back to the story. It almost spooked me, kind of freaked me out, because, you hear a voice and you don't want to think you're crazy, right? And so I just kind of thought, I guess it was a voice in the dream is what I came back to. But you never know. I mean, how that, I don't know if you guys were here, but it was a couple weeks ago, we had a guest here that said that she had an OBE just from listening to the podcast. So I kind of think after doing, what are we up to? 488, 400, but they're not all paranormal. Let's just say 450 podcasts. Maybe it's starting to change me as well too, and I'm becoming open to maybe getting connections with other beings or something. I don't know. It's possible. Alsdare. So Kelly entered the room. Now I wonder if Kelly is the channeler. We're going to find out if Kelly is the channeler that was going to channel Metatron for us. We'll see. We're waiting for Kelly. Let's see if we can get Kelly's to start video.
I don't know if you can hear me. I'm trying to log in.
I hear you, and I see your laundry.
Oh, yeah. Oh, I got my, yeah. That's my daughter. My gosh.
Well,
let
good
me
thing.
turn
Good thing it
camera
was. Good thing it
around.
was. I mean, good thing it was clean, because it could be like, "Whoa, we see your dirty laundry."
Yeah,
Literally.
you see me. I got to close out the YouTube. Oh my gosh.
Now, were you the Metatron person in the chat?
No.
That's not you. Okay, that's okay.
Okay, so I'm gonna hang up on this.
What happened? You had your camera
I'm
working.
trying to turn my camera around.
Well, I can't. It's not turned on at the moment, so you can turn it around.
So I'm trying to close out some windows.
All right. Thank you for your comments, Wendy
Yeah,
and
it's
Minnie
backwards, and
Rapunzel.
I'm trying to turn off the YouTube. Oh, there it is. Let me
What
turn
do
that
you-
off so we're not echoing.
Yeah, you want to turn off the YouTube. There you go. You're almost there. There's
Yeah,
your.
I finally found that.
I see your notebook paper.
So-
I see your towels and your socks.
my daughter's laundry there. I'm sorry, you
That
guys.
doesn't bother me.
There it is. Okay, there's a little camera thing.
There you are. All right. Welcome. Where are you? Where are you zooming from, Kelly?
I'm in New Mexico.
What part? I love New Mexico.
Socorro, just an hour south of
Socorro?
Albuquerque.
Yeah, I've been to
Mhm.
Socorro. I have. If you look, and you guys are all welcome to friend me on Facebook. My real last name is Reynolds. Mara is my wife. But if you look on my Facebook personal profile page or whatever you call that, when you come to my page, those are the satellites in Socorro. I took this picture of all those satellites.
Oh, the VLA, very large array.
Right.
Yeah.
So for those of you who have seen the movies Contact, that scene where Jodie Foster's with all those satellites, that's right outside of Socorro, right?
Yeah, you head
15
west, go
15
through
minutes.
Magdalena. It's between Magdalena and Daddle.
Mm-hmm.
It's called the San Augustine Plains.
Mm-hmm.
So it's probably from where I'm at about a 45-minute drive.
What's weird is I went there one time, and I don't know if anybody was even there. If they were in a room and they didn't even care. But me and my friends just were driving back from Las Vegas, and we happened to cut diagonal through New Mexico and Arizona, and we stopped there, and it was it was open, and we just kind of pulled in there, and we're walking around and looking at stuff and taking pictures. It was wow, it's pretty cool. I think there's a little museum there too, right?
Yeah, I don't know if they have that open now because they closed it when COVID started.
Mm-hmm.
But you can still drive up there. And, those dishes change positions.
Right.
They change locations all over the plains.
Mm-hmm. It's
So you
real.
never know where they're going to be. It's pretty cool.
So you can do your sci-fi road trip this week, and you can go to Socorro, and then you could drive, I don't know, an hour to 2 hours over to Roswell
Yeah.
and hang out
so
in the
it's really
UFO
good.
city.
Well, you know what? I live here in Socorro and not too far from where I'm at. I guess it's pretty famous too, which I didn't know until I started getting into UFOs after seeing them. But
Mm-hmm.
there was actually, if you look on different channels or what have you, you'll find stories about the landing in Socorro.
I didn't know there was
And
one
it was
there.
probably back in the 50s or 60s, I think. And what made it so prominent was because it was I think he was the sheriff. He is the one that's seen it.
Hmm.
His last name was Zamora.
Mhm.
But if you guys look up, Socorro UFOs, you'll see that story.
Cool. So
Yeah.
what have you come to share with us? Your UFO sighting or what?
No, actually, I got lots of stuff to share, but I know there's limited time. But
Mhm.
I thought I would share my NDE.
Oh, wow.
So I know
Are
it's
you?
an NDE.
Is it a
channel.
long? Maybe you want to be like my normal hour-long guest. I mean, if it's a long
No,
NDE.
mine's really short. It is nothing spectacular about, you have some amazing guests, and some of those I have to watch over and over. So if you get like, I'm probably worth at least, 10 views per
Well, thank you.
per video. But no, mine's pretty short.
Well, let's
And
hear about it.
and I did see where you were talking about wanting to get, some of the more prominent, famous guests. And that's kind of cool, but I was thinking, I think what attracted me to your channel, because I was watching a lot of different NDE channels, and but it was almost like I ran out of new people to watch. It's like, watch Eben Alexander on this channel, that channel, that channel. And I've bought the books and read them, and they're fascinating. But I think what it really attracted me to your channel was because you have the average person, getting on your show, telling their story. So it's something fresh and new. And every time.
You are so right about that. And it was so funny is that I just happened to have, one of my guests, I guess I could tell you guys, one of my guests lives like literally like 2 miles from me. Michael Andre Ford is an angel guy. And we just said, let's meet at Starbucks or whatever. So I met him at Starbucks today. It's funny enough that, like I said, one of my guests lives so close. But we were talking today, and we were talking about big guests, let's say, within the NDE world. And I said, well, the big guests within the NDE world, everybody's already seen them anyways. So it's kind of like, sometimes when I was talking big guests, maybe I was thinking of like, getting on like who had an NDE, like Sharon Stone, you know what I mean, someone like that. Although I think she's kind of, hers has been seen a lot too. But anyways, yeah, a lot of the people that I have had on, a lot of people ask me quite often, can you go get so and so guests? And they're like, super famous for the NDE world, like Eben Alexander. But you guys can all imagine, the most famous NDE guest. But then I kind of think sometimes, well, everybody's already seen this guest a million times, so will they even really watch the video? Because they'll say, oh, it's Eben. I'll use Eben as an example. Oh, it's Eben, I've already seen him, so there's nothing new. And even when I had Eben on, I said, Eben, everybody already knows your story, so let's skip past that and just let me ask you questions. And he was good with that.
Yeah, I think it'd probably be good, like if you could ask questions, because you ask really good questions, ones that maybe other interviewers don't ask.
Thank you.
And sometimes you'll be interviewing someone, and I'll be thinking, ask them this, ask them that, and then next thing you know, you do. And I'm like, yeah, that's what I wanted to know.
Yeah. And honestly, and I'm glad you pointed out, I do love getting the people that know, hardly anybody's ever seen before. I don't know, undiscovered is the right word, but kind of, unknown NDEers. So,
and you've got quite a few, like even just this past week or two, that were just fascinating. And I just got to go back and watch them again. I mean, just like power packed, just fascinating, really helpful information too.
I'm going to give you guys one that no one's ever seen before during an NDE. Tomorrow, I'm working on it. I had trouble with the audio. We haven't started editing yet. I'm hoping it's going to be okay, but it's my first NDE guest that saw Adam and Eve during her NDE. So that's going to be different. Most people see, either Jesus or God or both. I've never had one that's seen Adam and Eve, so I'm plugging my podcast for tomorrow night.
Yeah, maybe they had family fights.
And I think, I'm sorry?
It'd be fun to know if they had family fights.
Yeah, I don't know. But this is another unknown person. I think most people have never heard her speak. I don't even think she spoke before, and she's from Alaska. Anyways, let's go to your NDE. Tell us what happened.
So, yeah, mine's really short. And, I'm going to tell my age here. I'm almost 60.
Okay.
And this happened when I was 15. And it wasn't until this past decade that I even realized it was an NDE, until I started watching NDEs. And it was after my mother passed away. And it's like, I'm seeing her, she's passed away. She was on hospice and in the hospital. And, as soon as she passed away, she didn't look like her anymore. And I'm like, where did she go? But I have an interesting story about that too, how she passed through my body one day. But that moment. But anyway, kind of led me down this rabbit hole of near-death experiences and the mediumship and just all kinds of stuff. But then it clicked in my head. I was like, oh, that's what that was. You know, this was back in the early 80s. And it was, I think it was, no, shoot, it was the 70s, I suppose. Anyway, it was a near-death experience. But anyway, I was having it was just a medical procedure where they're going to knock me out. I don't remember if it was IV or gas mask or what, but it was pretty much, you know, count back in your head, I suppose, and probably by number 3. But I don't ever remember falling asleep. It was just all of a sudden I was someplace else. And so, like some of your guests talk about, you know, the dark void. And I know, and they say darkest, you know, that you could imagine. Well, that was exactly where I was. And so anyway, I just realized I was, you know, just in this really dark place, like the darkest imaginable. And I'm like, realize I don't know if I can see my body. Like, do I have a body? I don't know. And so I was just really kind of in a state of confusion, and it was like super dark. I wasn't super scared, but I was starting to get a little freaked out over this. Like, where am I? Where's my body? If I can just see my hands. And this went on, it seemed like, for long enough where I was feeling a little hopeless. And all of a sudden in the distance, there was like this face popped in, like way in the distance. And I remember just focusing on that, like, oh, okay, I can see him. You know, can I see me? And I'm looking, and it wasn't a face that I could recognize. And then eventually another face popped in, and then more and more. And then they were just kind of like, you know, around. And there was like all these faces. Couldn't see bodies or anything. And nobody's talking, nobody's saying nothing. And so I'm just really focusing on what in the world, you know, what is going on? And I'm looking. And then, you know how, well, if you're a parent, you know, you got kids in the background, how you can kind of like tune them out if you're doing something really important and you just kind of hear that noise in the background. You'll catch on if it's important. But it was kind of like that. And I was hearing these people talking in the background, and they were saying, breathe. And I'm just not really paying attention because I'm really concentrating on these faces and where am I? And then they were saying, Kelly, breathe. Kelly, take a breath. And I'm wondering, who's Kelly? It's like, could kind of hear that, kind of caught my attention. It's like, who's Kelly? And I'm just, okay. And then they're quiet. So I'm back to concentrating on the faces. And it was like, Kelly. And I was like, oh, I'm Kelly. And then I caught on. It's like, well, what are they doing telling me to breathe? And then I realized I wasn't breathing. And I thought, so I started thinking on that. And I'm like, well, I'm not breathing and I'm perfectly fine. And they were really annoying me in the background, telling me to breathe, because I really want to just pay attention to these voices, right? But anyway, so I'm thinking about this, and then I realized I kind of had an attitude about that I'm perfectly fine, and breathing seemed like such a big job. Like, God, that's a lot of work, you know? And then I was thinking, I've been breathing I was miffed. It was like, I've been breathing all these years and I didn't have to be doing that. And it was like, I just remember thinking in my head, is like, and when were they going to tell me this? You know, it's like, been doing all that work for nothing all these years. And so anyway, I'm back to pain, and I was like really annoyed with that. It's like, so I'm still not breathing, you know, because I don't have to. I'm fine. And then they're yelling again, breathe, take a breath. And I thought, well, if I take a breath, they'll shut up, you know, so I can go back to paying attention to what's going on out here. And so I decided just to take a breath so they'd get off my case. And as soon as I consciously, I guess, went to take a breath, then bam, you know, I was right back in my body. And I have to say, when I got back in my body, then I realized, then I was scared. I wasn't scared where I was at, curious, confused, but then I was scared. And then, you know, I lived in Texas for a long time, and I went to church like a good little girl, but, you know, I was a teenager and probably wasn't being such a good little girl. So Southern Baptist, you know, I was like, oh my God, I'm going to hell. I better change my ways, because I thought that was hell. But I thought, oh my God, that's where I'm going to be. And anyway, fast forward all these years, and then when I realized about having, oh, that's what that was, you know. And but my perception of it changed, and it wasn't a scary place, and I wasn't going to hell. It was more of my perception changed to nothing scary happened. Nobody did anything to me. It was just something I didn't understand, and I was scared at the time. And so, you know, I never even told anybody about that for what, 30 something years or longer, just up until this past decade. I started getting into mediumship and other stuff that's just kind of fallen in my lap. And so once in a while I might tell the story that, you know, when it comes up that, you know, life continues, you know, or consciousness continues. Anyway, just wanted to share that with you.
I appreciate that. Yeah, that, you know, it just sounds like you went to the black void and you looked at it from a later perspective and kind of evaluated it and realized it wasn't a bad thing after all.
Yeah.
And so, are you afraid of death anymore, or at all?
No, and you know, just like most people say, you know, it's like I want to go in my sleep.
Yeah.
I don't want the pain of it all, you know, that part.
Right.
And I thought I was like super brave one time, and there's this mountain in Magdalena that's on the way to the VLA. And I was married at the time, and there's a huge observatory up on top of the Magdalena mountain. They call it South Baldy and North Baldy. And there's a place called Water Canyon, and it's a really narrow road that goes up the mountain. So at this point, I'm like super brave. You know, I'm getting into a lot of spiritual stuff and consciousness studies, and I'm thinking, I can't die, right? So now I'm brave. I'm going to go up that mountain. So
there you go.
So I told my husband, okay, I'm ready. And so we're going up this really narrow mountain. Then I did start freaking out, because I thought, okay, the death part don't scare me, but falling off this mountain does.
Right.
So
right.
I'm hating getting me back down that mountain. So I never did make it to the top. But really enjoy your channel and all your guests.
Well, thank you very much, Kelly. Thank you for coming and sharing. And I hope you come back and tell us about that UFO.
Oh, you know what? Yeah, I thought I'd come back and tell you some stories. I got fairy stories and stuff that's just been happening since I've been here in the land of enchantment. And anyway, thanks. And I'm going to hang up here and get back on your YouTube.
All right. Thank you for coming by. Nice meeting you.
Bye-bye.
Take care. All righty. All right, so you guys got to learn a little bit about New Mexico. New Mexico is a really fun place to go to. I recommend, if you ever get time, check it out. That array is really cool. Roswell is very cool. And yeah, it's really nice there. All right, so this is, I think what I figured out, that it goes from bottom to top. So I think that Joe is next. And if I'm wrong, please forgive me, because I could be wrong about that. I just have no idea. But that's what I think it is there. Joe Laterac. I think that's how you pronounce that. Joe, are you there?
Yeah, can you not hear me or see me?
I can hear you, but I can't see you. You're almost here. There you are.
All right, can you see me now?
Yep. Did I pronounce that right? Laterac?
Yeah.
All right.
It's Swiss.
It's Swiss. Have you been here before, haven't you?
I have, yeah.
All right. Where are you from again?
Monroe, Michigan.
Monroe, Michigan.
Monroe,
Michigan?
Like President Monroe. Yes, okay. Monroe, Michigan.
All right. It's dark in there. Can you lighten your room up a little bit, or you want to be dark?
I don't mind being dark.
You want to be mysterious?
Maybe. Hey, happy belated birthday.
Oh, thank you very much. Thank you.
I was there and I was listening, and there was plenty of calls, so I just listened and enjoyed everything.
Well, thank you.
I think what Typho did was so cute.
Yeah, that was awesome.
Yeah.
I actually I don't know if you saw that, but after my Zooms, I go back, I have to download it and kind of create a thumbnail out of me and a guest, so I put me and that alien baby she had.
Yeah, I actually did see that, but I didn't somehow relate it to that because I see sometimes some cute things when you have a video.
Mm-hmm. So what do you got to share with us this week?
Well, I wanted to share just some dreams I had after my husband died.
All right, tell us about it.
After my husband died, I had these dreams that I was trying to gather his soul and put it back into his body. And there was one morning where I was listening to something and I kept going to what felt like another dimension. I was another person. Sometimes those dimensions were more physical and less physical. But I kept gathering different parts of this essence, and I was trying to bring it back to earth. And I kept waking up on the couch and then going back into a dream. And I was listening to something audio that kept, every time something would happen in one of these worlds and I would need to leave, sometimes quickly because they didn't want me there, I would wake up on the couch. I would sink into the ground and wake up on the couch and then go into another world or another realm. And the last time I woke up, I felt like my husband had been laying on top of me. I was on the couch and my body was literally pushed into the couch as if somebody was on top of me. I'm not very heavy. My husband was at 100 pounds more than me. Wow. It did feel like he was laying on top of me on the couch. And when I got up, it was hard to get out of the couch. And we have an old golden retriever. And he does not stand. He walks and he sits down. He never just stands. And when I woke up, I was a little foggy. It was weird that it felt like there was a warm body on top of me. I had the heaviness. I was getting out of the couch. And I looked up at our dog, Sam, and I said, "What's wrong?" And he just stood there and he just stared. And he just stared for 2-3 minutes, standing as if he was looking at somebody. But I was groggy and trying to kind of wake up and put myself together. But it really did feel as if he was standing there and he could see my husband, even though I couldn't.
Was the dog staring at you, or as if it was staring, at the couch or away from you?
The dog, well, when I woke up, Sam had turned towards me and he was still turned towards me, but it's as if he turned more to the side, as if there was a person there that he also was looking at and looked at that person.
That's interesting. I mean, maybe the dog, we don't really exactly know what dogs, what their visual ability is. So who knows what the dog, maybe he was seeing him.
I don't know either, but I do know there is one very weird thing about his dog and Glenn's death. When Glenn would go out of town, or even if he started working and he would work, 4, 5, 6 days in a row, and he wasn't home at the normal time he was with his dog, our dog would cry and cry and cry and cry. We would talk to him, we'd baby him, we would make sure he got extra walks, stuff that would, and he just would cry and just, he's sad that Glenn's not there. It's his best friend. And after Glenn died and his death was sudden, he went to work and didn't come home. Sam never acted that way. He never cried. It was as if he understood that he was gone. I mean, that's what you say when you try to piece these things together. I don't know what it is, but he never cried, or he wasn't upset that Glenn wasn't there anymore.
That's very interesting.
Yeah,
I don't know. I mean, I would, obviously we're all guessing here, but
yeah,
it seems obviously out of the normal.
Yeah.
That's really interesting. I don't know. They say that when dogs look into the mirror, they don't have the ability to realize that it's themselves. A dog looks into the mirror and thinks it's another dog.
As far as Sam, he did that at first as a puppy. He doesn't do that anymore.
He realizes that it's him.
Yeah, we have plenty of mirrors, floor level, where he sees all the time. He doesn't think it's another animal. But yeah, the first time he saw a mirror, he definitely, and then our cat Carlos as well.
Oh, wow. So that's great. All right. Yeah. Well, I appreciate you coming back and sharing that with us, Joe. I mean, I think that was a cool story, and maybe next time you'll turn on your light so we can see you.
All right. Sounds good.
That's okay.
Thank you. Bye, Jeff. Bye, Mara.
Bye-bye. Thanks for sharing with us. All right. So what do you guys think? Do you think her dog was seriously seeing Glenn or not? I mean, it sounds like it to me. I'm not sure what else the dog would be looking at unless there was some other being in the room, perhaps. All right. So next is Killian. And we'll see what Killian is up to. And that's good. We have a busy night tonight. I love it when it's busy. I mean, it's so much more fun when when you have people to come and share. And we have 229 people, which is great. So we have 2 people there in the waiting room. So that's about right. But if you want to join the Discord link, not Discord, the link to Zoom is in the description below.
Hi.
Is this Killian?
Yes.
All right. I hear you, but I don't see you. Oh, here you come.
There we are.
Hey, Killian.
Hello.
How are you? Have you been here before?
Nope. Actually, I'm seeing you on YouTube and Zoom, so I just shut off the YouTube one.
Oh, that's okay. Where, I see U.S. Army above you. Where are you? At first, I thought you were in a helicopter or something, but then I realized those are not buttons above you. What are you in?
I'm actually in a person transport vehicle.
This is
it's an ambulance. It's an old ambulance.
Oh wow! Is it your personal one that you modified?
Sort of. I just sort of threw my stuff in it, and
cool. That's awesome.
So my service dog and I travel a lot.
Yeah. What do you do? What do you do with? What are you up to? You sound like you do some interesting stuff.
Literally, I just live. I live. My service dog's name is Hope.
Mm-hmm. Is Hope there with you?
She is. I tried to put her on.
Oh, there's Hope. Hello. Yeah, Hope is just chilling out.
Yeah, she's
beautiful.
Thank you. Yeah, we literally just live each day just traveling and meeting new people, meeting angels, and talking with people. We go to a dog park or a park every day.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what we do now.
Now, 1 second. I'm going to interrupt you real quick, and I don't like interrupting people, but were you the person in the chat that does channeling?
I don't specifically do channeling, no. But there was somebody in the chat that said they channel Archangel Metatron and they were going to jump in. I was just wondering if that was you. It doesn't matter. Not you. That's okay. Then let's carry on with you. Okay. So I just got in, so I'm not even sure what your format is for tonight.
My format is share with us whatever you'd like to share. That's paranormal, supernatural, spiritual, or whatever.
That's 3 of those.
And you've got, and I give everybody approximately 10 minutes. I used to time it, but I don't time it anymore.
Okay. That's a good limit.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, I've had all 3. I've had, well, now that the government's admitted, embarrassment aside, 3 contacts with other than terrestrial. One of those was personal, and it actually got physical, and I have medical proof of that.
Okay, we got to just focus on that. That sounds amazing. So let's start from the beginning.
it actually led me to my NDE.
Can you hear me okay?
Yes.
Okay, my wife was telling me that people are having trouble hearing me. Maybe you have to get closer to the microphone. All right. So, what is the non-terrestrial being that you had physical contact? Tell us about that. How it happened. What did the being look like?
Yeesh. Well, in short, I slept. We were in a little town that's kind of weird in Eastern Washington, and in this house we had moved into, I ended up sleeping in a back utility closet. It was basically a big room. I moved out of the master and into that room, and it was on a different wing of the house. Around 10:30 at night. At least twice a week, 2 to 3 times a week, I would hear footsteps walking on the roof. And it was one of the only houses on the block with a flat roof. It was a different house. And one night I was really desperate because I heard distinct bipedal movement upstairs, and it would go from the front of the house towards the back where I was. And they would stop over the utility room. So one night I got brave, got up, went out and looked around. And this was like after, it was about 11. Up 2,300 hours. Mm-hmm. And there were no raccoons, no possums, nothing walking on top of the house. So I went back to bed. It was October of 2018, and it was a Sunday, and I think it was the 21st, but whatever that Sunday was, I woke up and I went to the restroom, and I was going to do my business, and then I looked down, and there's this bruise on my inner thigh. And I don't bruise. I don't bruise. I have had one other bruise on my arm, and that was during from an injury when I was in the Army. Other than that, I don't bruise. And so it freaked me out. And I know my body pretty well, and it was not there when I went to bed. Then I felt, it felt like a marble. It was the same size and consistency, or the density as a marble, and the firmness when I touched it. And it was just, this looked like a 2-day post-surgical bruise with an implantation just underneath the surface of my skin. You could feel it. It was very palpable, very visible, and it freaked me out. And there were 2 gentlemen in the house at the time, and I grabbed them both and I said, "Do you guys see this? Tell me I'm not imagining this. This is there, right?" And they both said yes. And so I right before that, weird things started happening, and I started like in September, the month before, having more, I'm feeling my dad more, and he passed away years ago. And then I did something to my previous service dog, which wasn't good, but it was part of what was going on. And then so after I found that in my thigh, I called VA, tried to get them to biopsy it. My PCP put it in order for me to go to imaging, or to imaging and to the general surgery. General surgery was supposed to schedule me for imaging and surgery, but they actually refused to do anything. They barely looked at it. And
what was their opinion? What did they say what it was in your leg?
She wasn't. She wasn't. She didn't. She both. There was the main doctor and then the assistant, her resident, who barely touched it. And I had to kind of encourage them to, feel free to, palpate it, look at it, or something. And the doctor was actually going to walk out of the room. She was washing her hands, and she didn't really say anything. And she started to walk out, and I said, "Wait a minute, what, can I please get an appointment for imaging or something?" And she says, "Well, we're not going to do anything." And that wasn't a good thing to say to me. So I verbally dragged her back into the room and made her sit down, and I gave her a lecture on how to treat her veteran patients, and that she should look at this and, send me to imaging. So after the little pep talk, she left and came back with an appointment that was like 6 weeks out. So anyway, I ended up getting that surgery, and under the procedure, it was a local anesthesia. And I tried to take photos of the object when they pulled it out, and it was a pearly white, it looked just like a white marble. And every time I tried to take a photo of it, it would go unfocused. And I tried 3 times. So I've got 3 slightly blurry photos of it, and they sent it off to biopsy. And since I don't trust VA, I had them send it off to another hospital for a second reading, and it came back somewhat inconclusive. And they said it was like a lipoma, but they weren't sure, and it wasn't a lipoma. It was not by any means a lipoma. So what happened after I discovered this object, something I didn't tell VA is that I started having flashbacks of being in a surgery room. So when I had gone to bed, I went to bed around 11 or so, and this must have happened between 2:30, 3:30 in the morning. And I remember, and to this day, I distinctly remember waking up under anesthesia. It was kind of foggy, and I saw those, the right surgical lights, and it was kind of blurry, and I saw 2 figures to my right. The 4 figure, the one closer to me, he said, please keep still, this won't hurt a bit. And I remember that. And then I knocked out again. I blacked out, must have. And then I don't know how much time passed, but I woke up again with them doing whatever they were doing. And I was on, I guess, a table. And they said it again. He said, keep still, this won't hurt. And so I blacked out again. And I remember the only way I could describe this person I saw was that they were slender, but I thought initially that they had like this long bodysuit on, or gray. I thought that's a long lab coat, and it was gray. And then I realized that was the whole person. They were gray. And that kind of hit me hard when I realized, when I started piecing what I actually saw together. But they were gray. And they were distinctly there. Now, the thing with waking up under anesthesia carries forward. After that incident, the implant, and then after I discovered the implant, I started predicting things more, actually. It accelerated. I've had this ability to predict things that unfortunately come true. But it accelerated after I found this implant. And then I have mentioned to several people that VA was going to kill me, that they were trying to kill me. And so this kept on for about 2 months. I got the surgery done to remove the implant. And then in December, I had to go back to VA for a kidney surgery. Making this long story short, the surgeon, it was around the 10th or 11th of December, 2018. I finally got in to it was for kidney stones. And I had 2 of them. And VA ignored me when I went into urology, and didn't want to do anything about them. And my prediction about them trying to kill me accelerated. So I finally got an appointment to go to surgery. I had to bark a little bit, went to surgery, and somewhere in the procedure, the doctor did an unethical maneuver. And I did not discover this, and I would not know why I passed 2 days later if I had not woken under anesthesia. But when they were finishing up the surgery, I woke up and they didn't know it, but I overheard a nurse confront the doctor about the stent they put in. And she asked her about the stent, and there was this dead silence. And I'm lying there, eyes closed, trying not to breathe. And the nurse asked the doctor again about the stent she inserted. And the doctor said, well, it's not in there. And no one knew it. She didn't report it. And the nurse asked her what happened. And she says, well, it was kind of falling out and I snatched it out. And I guess she tossed it or hid it or tucked it or something, but she never mentioned it to any nurses or anyone. So I was going to be released without a stent. And so anyway, they never told me anything. I went home and I started to feel sick like the day after. And I don't get sick. I hadn't been sick in like 15 years. I don't even carry a temp. Didn't used to. But on the 13th of December, that morning, I didn't feel well. My previous service dog was trying to tell me something and I didn't quite get it. But later on that night, I'll just say he saved my life. He wouldn't allow me to take a nap. I ended up driving 3.5 hours to an ER, from Vancouver to 3.5 hours east, and to another hospital. And I got there late at night, and they actually, I was in the ER, and they gave me 4 narcotics that I broke through. The pain was that bad, and I have a high pain tolerance, but I had gone septic. I had a temperature of 102.3 the day before, and it had gotten worse. But when I was in the ER, none of the meds seemed to work. We get like at the most a two-minute reprieve. And then at one point, I remember them, I think morphine or Dilaudid was the last. Dilaudid was the last thing I think they gave me, a whole bunch of stuff. But all I remember is I went from in massive pain and in the fetal position to floating in this, what I initially called a black tunnel. It was just a tunnel.
Mm-hmm.
But I've seen a lot of your interviewees say that, describe it as a void, and so I adopted that description. And it is a void, but it's so full of spirits and good things and just love, absolute love that you cannot even touch here. But I heard voices and an invitation to stay there, and I passed on that invite. But yeah, and I'm sorry that carried into it, but I'm actually in the middle of an anxiety attack right now, so I'm trying to curtail myself. But that's basically what happened. And I went to the other side and had this joyous trip and begged to stay here. I actually am one of those who didn't want to stay over there. When I realized I was dying or dead, I begged, I pleaded with my guardian angel to let me stay here. And so in short, I am literally living on a death vow. I made a promise, I bargained to stay here. And so I've been living that promise I made on my deathbed since then, and it's been great. It has its challenges, but oh my gosh, one miracle after another. Every day there's a miracle, and it's just, I can't even describe to you, Jeff. And I'm so grateful that you spontaneously let me on here, and I'm so sorry I'm hyperverbal, but that's part of what happened. And one day maybe you'll get to know the whole thing.
Well, I want to say thank you for sharing, and no need to be stressed out about it. You did great. And I appreciate you, and I hope you come back, because I think you have a lot more to share with us. So next time it should be completely relaxed, because you did great this time. So
oh, thank you. Thank you.
I have to run because I got 2 people waiting, but thank you so much for coming and sharing. And
Bye,
maybe
guys.
next time you can show us those pictures.
Yeah.
Even though they're blurry, it would be cool to see what it looked like.
Yeah. Well, yes, we'll do. Thank you.
All right, Killian, have a great weekend.
You too.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
All right, so an alien implant and an NDE-like experience. And let's get Typo in here and see what Typo's up to. And for the people who gave me super thanks, thank you. That was Linda, and I think it was...
All right, Killian, have a great
It
weekend.
was Typo, and it was
All right,
Share Spirit and Typo. So Share Spirit, thank you so much for the super thanks, and Typo, thank you so much for the donation.
You are welcome. Hey, you have lines of callers already.
That's awesome.
Great.
It's great. It's great.
You
when we
can
have
always-
people,
I
have
will-
people to share.
I will always be happy to wait in your room
Well, thank
and
you.
just watch those callers come flying in. You can just keep reading my name and push it down. I'm good.
No.
Um,
Hopefully one
just-
day, and I suspect it will get one day that it'll be like so many callers that I can't even, there's just too many. All right, live show call in Zoom app. Set there it is, guys. Besides underneath the video, that's if you want to join us. There it is, the room ID and passcode.
and you can always take a snapshot if you're watching it on an iPhone and it's really small.
So are you going to be playing this weekend in Discord?
I am tomorrow, and it's a big graduation week this week. So we were all rained out, and I came on here when I first called. I was soaking wet. So funny, but I just wanted to say hi and see and put the call number and say yes, we're going to be here tomorrow. And what a great caller you just had!
Yeah.
With fascinating stories.
It was kind of like she had the UFO alien abduction and an NDE, and then right before her was another NDE. So it's been a busy night.
Unbelievable night. And she's so interesting. I just want to say the fact that she called in and she was feeling anxious, how wonderful that she joined our group. I'm glad you came back to life, even though you don't really want to be here, and so you can be part of our group. Thank you to the caller.
Yeah, that's well said. What do you got going on this weekend? Are you like, we had the astrologer here in the beginning. I don't know if you saw him, but he said it's a good weekend to take short trips. Are you taking a short trip anywhere this weekend?
We did. We went. I went into Boston to go to a graduation, and so that's a short trip for me. I don't usually go into Boston very often, so that was a fun trip. It just it was fun. It was packed. And it was fun. Thanks for asking.
I thought you lived in Boston. I guess you live outside of Boston somewhere?
I live up near the New Hampshire border, near the water. And so for me, it's about 45-minute drive to get into Boston.
Okay,
Yeah.
It's not too bad. It's not
Yeah.
bad at all.
I just wanted to say, guys, I've been moved to bring this topic up. And do you feel like a scary little 2-minute story?
Sure.
All right, cool. Because I have to keep up with these cool callers. So here's a scary. It's not really scary though. If you don't have to hide the kids. I went. So the interesting thing that I want to make public about a near-death experiencer is that you lose your doubt of, is it true? You just lose it. Because it's such a wild ride, even though everybody's experience is different. So you begin to actually lose that doubt. And so when weird things happen, it really reinforces your free will to make decisions about what you choose in this reality. It really solidifies that. At least it's really interesting that a lot of people I talk to feel that way. It just, once you make a rule, it's your rule, and you don't end up going back and forth and wondering if it's real. Well, that's a big deal. So here's the scary story. I was teaching people how to light up their light body. And for anyone that deals with aura, that's light body lit up. But it's only on the exterior part of your body, and it can come out in different colors. And the color relates to your chakra, and what's stronger, how you feeling, right? Your emotional, if you look at the list of 32 emotions, yeah, that'll relate to the color of the aura. But there's another thing you can do, which is to light up your light body. And when you do that, you vibrate potentially at your highest possible rate. And it takes 2 steps right off the bat, which in this life, no matter what, you want to do this by the time you leave anyway. And that is blanket forgiveness for any dumb thing you ever did, just for yourself, but a straight blanket forgiveness. And blanket forgiveness for anyone else that ever did anything bad to you. And I know that a lot of people are going to say, hold on, really bad things happened. And sometimes that has to wait till you leave and you go on the other side to understand it. But just take my word for it. If you do a blanket forgiveness and just say, whatever happened, I'm big now, I'm done. And then you do both. Then you don't have any of that energetic goop hanging on you every day through your life, especially if you're like 40, 50, 60, that can add up. And it's one of the things I do. I clear that energy. So at any rate, so once you do that, you are officially like, you don't have anything hanging on you, so you can vibrate. So I taught a lot of people how to light up their light body so they could feel their highest potential. And that way it really clears your telepathy, it really clears your messages, your connection to higher sources, all that stuff. I did that and I was on a roll for like 2 weeks and I did a bunch of people, okay? But I was missing a piece. It was when I was learning, it was a while back, and I missed something. So here's the scary part. So after doing a bunch of people, I was on a roll and I was just doing this as an exercise to see what new information people could draw in, how clear their connection was to their higher power or whatever they wanted to get information from. Okay, so after doing that, I'm in bed and I'm sleeping. But you know when you're at rest and you're just kind of just getting into sleeping, but you're really still in your body and you're really just thinking things out and breathing. So during that time, I'm doing a breathing exercise and I'm really just feeling air go into my body as I'm going to sleep. And I'm in a really beautiful time of rest. And just then, with my eyes shut, I see a negative force, a negative entity, use what looked or felt to me like a knife and cut through the 3D right above my body. So I'm sleeping and it feels like a knife just cut through reality. And the entity pulls both sides of the cut. You know, when you cut something, there's 2 sides.
Right.
The entity pulled 2 sides of that reality like a curtain and stuck its creepy, nasty looking, like the nastiest looking face you could make, right? Just wanted to scare me, but I've been there, right? So I know. So, but he wants to scare me. So he's got this creepy, evil, low vibration, nasty face. And he stuck his face right through the 3D cut. And I see him look, and then he sees me. Well, my eyes are shut. It was just then that I began, because it was an instant. And just then, when I felt him, my first thought was, what is this? What are you doing? And my second thought was, dispel, you're out. I could just tell, like, you are a nasty, whatever you are out of my reality, right? Uh-huh. So as soon as I thought the word dispel, I knew he would just be flown right out of my reality, because I'm the master of free will in my reality. I get to choose. And as soon as I make a clear cut, no hold barred, I'm not in question. This is my decision. You are dispelled. Boom, they run, right? But that moment, that very moment while my eyes were shut and I saw him cut it and put his creepy face in and look for me, my question in my consciousness was, oh, what are you doing? Right? Because he was creeping in.
Mm-hmm.
So I had the thought, what are you doing? Well, I had a thought, he's in whatever nasty D he's in, I connect. So I realized, oh, you're looking to see who's lighting people up. I got your attention because you can see them light up. That was like a telepathic moment, a shot of information. And when I got that shot, it was at the same time I was thinking, dispel, you're gone, get out. And then because I only talk to God. So I call God and I say, out of my reality. I'm putting a block. And he's gone. And then the thing that knife thing, the cut he made, zipped right up. It was gone. It was healed. It was like it never happened. And because I'm used to weirdo crap happening, I sit back for a minute and I think that was really an interesting moment. I got his attention because I'm lighting people up. So what am I missing? I'm missing something because we don't want that to happen.
Right.
But we absolutely want to teach people how to lighten up. You know, the saying lighten up is really light up. So we want to teach that as fast and as furiously as we can, because as soon as you teach a person how to do that, they have clear connection. They start connecting and playing, and it brings them alive. Like you feel yourself and you're like, holy moly, this is me. I can do this. So what was I doing wrong? So I'm thinking, what am I doing wrong? I missed something. How did he see us? And then I thought, oh, I never showed people how to put an egg of safety around themselves and make a block and make a barrier and have no doubt and be like, I'm invisible to you, nasty, low vibration scumbag, right? I never did that. And so that I learned that. Now, when I do a clearing on somebody, I show them how to do that so that that's done. And then I show them how to lighten up their light body, because that's the goal, right? The goal is to be in 3D, but exercise all that knowledge, right? Get premonitions that are helpful and good, and, you know, put the brakes on before you hit the stop sign, all that. And so I'm just letting you know, that's how our learning process has been. And that's one example of my personal learning that I had to go through by making a mistake. And then because I'm a near-death experiencer with like whatever year, lots of years of experience, I know not to be creeped out by scary faces that come into your reality. Right. I just know they're low vibration. You can get them out. That's free will. As long as you don't go back and forth. Maybe it's my free will. Maybe I'm not strong enough. Maybe they could do it. Maybe they're stronger than me. All that self-talk. So I'm spreading that because anyone that has an entity that's around, it's a self-talk. And you can't allow it. You got to be like, I have free will. You're gone. Dispel, out. And then call whoever you like to talk to and get them out. So that's my learning. Thought I'd share it.
Yeah, thank you for sharing. And you're lucky that you've had all this experience, because the unexperienced may have been really freaked out about that.
Oh, yeah. His face was legitimately absolutely petrifying to the average, like a TV viewer.
Yeah.
But I kind of knew that he was trying to come up with his scariest face. And I was just like, your face doesn't matter. Your vibration matters. Your frequency matters. What you're trying to get away with matters.
Right.
But the scary thing, well, we have Halloween every year. We've seen worse, right?
Right.
So I'm just sharing is caring. And if everyone in this place posts one link somewhere that your friends or you have, like Facebook, if you share this one time, you might get somebody that really, really needs to hear our fun talk show. And I love all of you. So thank you so much. Have a great night.
Thank you. Thank you for sharing. Bye. And have a great weekend.
You too.
Bye-bye. She beat me to it. All right. So she had an entity, sounds like, cut open our dimension, pop its head in, and luckily she got it out. Let me see here before I let the next person in. Yes, Amber Leger. Amber, thank you so much for the super thanks. I appreciate it. And Amber has been a guest of mine before, so I hope you're doing well, and maybe you want to stop by and say hello. The next person is John. So we will see who John is. And it looks like he'll be here shortly. And I thought I needed to tell you guys something, but I just can't remember for some reason. Maybe it'll come back to me. Oh my gosh. We got the legendary John Scott back.
Oh, can you hear me?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Welcome back. We haven't seen you in a long time.
Hi, Jeff.
You need to turn your volume's a little low.
How's that? Can you hear me? I might have to hold my microphone.
It didn't make a change. I don't think you're using the mic from your headphones. I think your mic is from your computer.
How's this if I lean forward? Yeah? Hang on. Let's muck around this a bit. How's that?
I'm having a little trouble with you.
I might flip over to my
maybe you want to go from your phone.
Yeah, I'll do that.
You know, it's interesting is usually you pop in from your phone. I never see your name. It's usually like this weird something name. We'll see when it pops up. So it looks like you're in your work studio. So maybe we'll see that pop back in. Let's see. Not yet. If you do it at the same time, I can let your phone come in at the same time. Usually it'll come up in my alert box. Are you trying to sign in with your phone as well?
Oh.
Hello? Test. Are you trying to get in with your phone? Ah, there you are. Yeah. Huawei Prime 2019. All right, and I'll remove the other one. Don't report.
How's that?
Way better. That's a million times
Sorry, mate.
better.
Yeah, I'm having... Sorry, Jeff. I'm having problems with my my microphone and the PC for some reason.
So welcome back. It's been a long time since we've seen you.
Well, yeah, considering time is relative, it's like it was just like yesterday, but it's been a few months. I've just been...
Did you just been what?
I've just been in hiding. Yeah, just been doing my thing.
Did you see the episode I did on crop circles? With the crop circle researcher from England.
No, I didn't. Oh, yes, I did actually. Yes, I did. Andy, just jog my memory.
Andy Thomas.
Andy Thomas, yeah. His name's familiar, and I recognise his face.
Yeah.
He had some good information, as everybody does in that field.
Yes, I wonder if you would. I don't know if you.
He mentioned.
Go ahead.
No, I've got a bit of a lag there. So, Andy mentioned William Levengood's work. William Levengood was a scientist, and he got hard science on the seeds and seed growth, the crops themselves. I mean, anybody who has done research into crop circles, for me personally, we were getting beyond the paranormal, but because we were getting hard evidence that we could use scientifically. And there was a lot of scientists traveling from all over the world, anonymously, because it was such a fringe subject. And I personally know a geologist, a professor of geology. I met him personally, a gentleman called John Lusk. And he was doing some soil samples, and he put them under the microscope and said that the soil had changed considerably, and had to do a double blind. Of course, they took samples from outside the crop circle and within the crop circle, and there was more crystalline structure in the soil samples that were within the crop. What was really interesting, I kind of knew intuitively what was going on, because I had some a crossover between my near-death experience and my time of doing crop circle interpretations. I pulled most of my interpretations down from the internet, because they were incredibly complex. I was getting visions at the time because I was in Australia. I never got a chance to visit the crop circles. I didn't need to, but I was getting blasted with visions, and there was an increase with extraterrestrial activity, 100% on that. And I don't need to apologize, or, because people say, ooh, they're demons. No, that was all positive, but it was the vibration was, or the frequency of the contact was so high, it triggered memories of my near-death experience. Now, I hadn't even spoken about my near-death experience publicly. And during the crop circle period that I was interpreting, which was between 2010, 2013, or approximately 2010 to 2012, about 4 years, it was so intense that I was starting to go a little bit crazy again. And somebody emailed me anonymously. It was I don't know if it was a BCC email, but they asked me if I'd had a near-death experience, which I thought, whoa, that's a bit of a curveball. And I responded and I said yes. And that was when I was invited by a guy called Glauco Schäfer, I think that's how you pronounce his name, to do my first podcast about my near-death experience. And what I can say is, yes, there is an overlap between extraterrestrial activity, crop circles, and our spiritual evolution. But it's on such an echelon of consciousness. It's like right out there in the wilderness of everything that we thought possible. Yes, we're on the cusp, obviously, of something massive here.
You've talked about you've talked about seeing the pyramids and other things during your NDE, but I don't think you've ever mentioned seeing aliens or extraterrestrials. Have you seen them? Or did you see them during your NDE?
Well, good question. I didn't physically see extraterrestrials in my NDE, but the first thing I asked when I was on the other side, because I actually said telepathically to the light, I said, no one's going to believe me, because I'm not an intellectual. I've got no letters after my name. And the first thing I asked, obviously, was about the pyramids. I have no idea why I asked that question. Namely, as it's one of the greatest mysteries on our planet. Who built them? Where did they come from? I've actually written summaries, not a thesis, but I wrote a comparative summary comparing the building of, say, Sydney Harbour Bridge, which took 20 years to build, against the Great Pyramid of on Giza Plateau, Khufu's pyramid. They've named it Khufu's pyramid. Now you've got to remember, people assume that Giza Plateau was a desert back then. No, I was shown that it was a rainforest full of water, a lot more water. So this opens up a lot of questions historically and anthropologically, in regards to the environment back then. It was a rainforest. And it's like, whoa, hang on. When was the last time that Egypt was actually green and the Nile was literally, there was salt water there? Now, I've since done a lot of research on the Great Pyramid, and they've found salt water at the level of the Great Pyramid at the doorway, 17.5 meters approximately from the base. What's that convert into feet? I don't know, about 60 feet?
Yeah.
Now, they've found salt water embedded both inside, or salt crystals embedded at that level. Salt. So then I found out that there's a chamber nearby called the Osiris chamber, and it's something like 20 meters below the plateau itself. So if you add 17.5 meters and 20 meters, you're getting close to nearly 80-foot depth, and the water is salt. This means the salt water has receded. Now, where is this salt coming from? This is something that scientists should be testing, because the Nile's fresh water. So why was there so much salt? Well, there was an ocean back then. The ocean came up to that door level. So this is incomprehensible for most people. This pushes the historical timeline back staggeringly. I mean, I did a comparative measurement between the doorways as well, which is quite interesting in the conclusion. But going back to the Harbour Bridge versus the Great Pyramid build, I mean, it took the Sydney Harbour Bridge 20 years to build with modern technology, electricity, the wheel, cranes, metallurgy, you name it. And the tonnage of the Great Pyramid was 5 times more, I think, from memory. That's what I came up with. That's the sheer weight of the amount of material used. And yet these people were stacking 60-ton blocks. You try dragging a 1-ton block in sand. Try dragging a 1-ton block in sand, right? You go to the sorry, yeah. I'm
sorry to interrupt you, but I wish you would have been here last week, because Stephen and Evan Strong were here. I'm pretty sure you know those guys, fellow Australians.
Yes, I do. Yes, I know them well.
And they were telling me that hieroglyphics are found in Australia, and not only but they're a primitive version of hieroglyphics, and they were even theorizing
proto-Egyptian.
That the Egyptians learned hieroglyphics from the Aborigines. Have you seen those hieroglyphics there in Australia?
No, but I plan to go there. I've been invited by an Indigenous elder to go there, and it's very sensitive. You can't just, you can't just walk into these sites. I mean, a lot of people do. Often with Indigenous sites, and this is something that I've learned through personal experience, is that they have a kind of an energetic frequency of veiling to them. Now, if you're not meant to get into that site, either one, you won't find it, you can be right next to it and not see it, or two, you can get there and you won't get anything from it. With Indigenous sites, or what we call, I think Evan and William call them original people, because the suffix ab denotes abnormal or abstract, so that they're not. So they've dropped that suffix. Yeah, not as an insult. I'm not insulting anyone on that, but it's just the Indigenous people are very sensitive about this, because the power of white dominance and cultural overlay, using an Anglo-Saxon language on top of theirs. And so anyway, getting back to that point, I spoke to Evan, I think it was, and he said that when they went and visited the site, I think an owl flew out of the cave, an owl. Now, owls are pretty rare, but it was like a guardian of the site. Many times I would go to a site and they have what they call an unlocking site. This is possibly, I shouldn't go too far with this knowledge, but you have to go to the first site to unlock it. So you do gratitude prayers when you go to these powerful sites, and you wait. You can take food or water or whatever, and you place it, and you get guided to them. They're like key sites. So they unlock. You take the key, but the key is your heart. If you go in the right way, the site will talk to you. And I used to stay overnight. I got some phenomenal experiences that I don't talk about, like spirit elders coming to me and they would come to me in vision the night before, and they would offer me something, and they would tell me where the ochre was. Now, ochre, obviously they're colors, they're soil colors, and they use them in ceremony, and I don't touch that stuff normally because you have to be initiated into it, because each color represents something, and each region, very sacred material, very, very, very sacred material. Another time I plunged my hand into a rock and I found crystals, and I thought, these aren't native to the area. It doesn't have any crystals in this area. It was all sandstone, and here I had these quartz crystals. So what I did, I took them home, and I meditated on them. I put them under my pillow, and I got a dream vision that they were what they call Gadachi crystals. Gadachi is a clever man, someone who's a healer. And the stones that I'd removed and put in my pillow, they were ancient. And I'm talking about maybe 50,000 years old. Right. So I immediately took them back, and I wasn't intending to keep them. You don't keep stuff like that. And I put them back in the rock, straight where I found them. Now, obviously, the healers, and this site that I was at, by the way, was juxtaposed to a Catholic church. And I'm not going to say where it is, but you know, it's in Sydney. It's one of the first sites when white men came to Australia, and it was a very powerful magical site. So there was an ochre pit nearby, and then there was this other site. And the chap that found the site was a white fella. He's now dead. He's passed away from an illness. So they are protected sites. Yeah.
Do you think the ancient Egyptians, how do you think they got to Australia? Do you think, you know, Evan and Stephen were saying they believe they sailed down there, or do you think they had a much greater technology and just, you know?
I won't tread on that territory. I have no idea, and I'll leave that up to Evan and William. I think they've got a very good case, mainly because I know the Indigenous people. They have their own oral tradition, and their oral tradition is much more accurate than our Western overlay. So if they say they walked or they flew or whatever, you can better believe it. They've not changed the story. Look, the geology of the planet, Jeff, could have been vastly different back then. I really don't know. Yes, maybe they sailed. Yes, you know, there's a good chance of it.
You mentioned earlier that you feel like we're on the cusp of something big, and you know, now NASA has just recently come out and said they're going to join the, you know, the exploration or the search for ETs, and the government's releasing all this stuff. Do you think there's going to be some kind of big disclosure very soon?
No. No.
This is all a dog and pony show?
No, because, well, that's a nice way of putting it. The reason why I say no is because the hierarchical structure of humanity is in the wrong hands at the moment. So by centralizing a disclosure point, or we've got the telephone to ETs kind of thing, are you serious? You know, they don't even give us fresh water. They don't even give us good food, or we're not even caring for our own people on the planet. And all of a sudden we've got this delegation of people who are going to declare, yes, we're in touch with extraterrestrials. Well, damn it, we're all in touch with extraterrestrials, and they'll come to whomever they please. So my personal opinion is extraterrestrial activity is a very, very complex narrative. And I felt that the crop circles, which had been going for 30 years, there was over 10,000 glyphs. Now, if NASA wanted to disclose extraterrestrial contact, why were they debunking crop circles? Why wouldn't they endorse them? Why wouldn't they come on board with some of the best researchers on the planet, including scientists who had factual evidence that these circles had been done in ways that humans could not perform? One example, I was speaking to John Lusk, whom, by the way, he had a triangle burnt into his leg, a little triangle approximately about maybe 1/4 of an inch. And he said, I said, that's an extraterrestrial mark. He said, yeah, it just appeared overnight and it lasted for 3 months before it faded away. So I'm getting off the track here. why wouldn't NASA just say, okay, look, they're here. Look, the intelligence agencies know they're here. They damn well know they're here. They've known they're here since the 60s or the 40s when the Roswell incident happened. But I feel the crop circles were a bookend from the beginning of human time, from when we arrived on this planet to an end of an envelope, right? There's bookends to this. And I'm thinking everyone who was secular or, non-religious, very aware of the hard science, knew that there was a mystery, and there was a mystery going on with this. And yet they were constantly, the media was debunking it. Constantly, 2 men on planks. Seriously, nobody was willing to really come up and say, look, we've got contact. We're a bit scared. We don't understand what's going on. Let's be open about it. Let's start sharing the information openly. But we don't live in an open society, in reality. So it's become, the evolutionary process has been by individuation, meaning each and every person is waking up at their own level of awakening. And by default, that will create a paradigm shift in human consciousness. Now, I think I can take this a bit further, because I think someone just beforehand was talking about implants. Mm-hmm. I believe, much like the shift from Neanderthal to Homo sapien, I think there's possibly hundreds of millions of people being chipped to allow them to have telepathic communication at this point, if they're not psychic enough naturally to do it already. I think we're being chipped. This is only a hypothetical, mind you. This is something I haven't been told. And this allows us to incrementally shift just enough to make us Homo sapien extraterrestrial, right? So what this will do, so this might go on for 100 years or 50, who knows? Then we might start seeing some very strange kids being born, slightly different, but we'll be evolutionary ready for them. So we will be phased out. Look at our history. What are we doing? We're destroying the environment. We're destroying each other. We can't even open our hearts to the 5 different species or the 5 different colors on this planet. The red, the white, the brown, the black, the yellow, 5 peoples, which were the original seedings. If we can't get along with 5 similar species, just because our nose and our phrenology and our face is different, how the hell are we going to get along in the universe with millions of entities out there? Mm-hmm. We are primates, Jeff, with the potential to grow, yes, but our potential is being suppressed by gorillas and chimpanzees marking their territory with excrement around the planet in the form of war maps. It's constantly going on. Will we transcend that? That's the cusp we're on. That's the big question. Yeah. We've got to be really brutal here. Some of us want to move forward. There's many who aren't even awake yet. People are terrified of anything new. So of course extraterrestrials are demons or negative. No, they're not. I had extraterrestrial contact, absolutely. Possibly about 3 or 4 times. Fair dinkum contact. I've been in a craft, but I'm not in control of it. It's not like, I can call them and then I get whisked up. And no, it's not like that at all. They're controlling this situation 100%. They are millions of years ahead of us. Millions. Mm-hmm. That's what technologically, millions of years ahead. No, they're keeping us in a very safe space. How this will all end up is totally up to us, because yes, we still have a choice. There is a spiritual element to this. Our original mandate when we incarnated here was to bring divinity into this planet, because planets, they evolve. They're constantly, ETs are creating new life forms like we do. We genetically modify things. I have no problems with that. But this is like the big school. I mean, they can genetically modify entities like us. This is the big school,
Yeah.
So whether we were created by God or extraterrestrial, that's really hypothetical that we can debate until the cows come home. Doesn't bother me. What bothers me is what's in our heart and how we communicate with the divine or reach our divinity within ourselves. Then the ETs will come down if needed. But they tend to come when we're at difficult transition point, really difficult transition points.
Right.
That's my own personal opinion. Yeah.
All right, John, I'm so sorry, but I have to run. My show is past time and I still got people waiting on me, so I have to run. But if you guys want to know more about John's NDE, he has a book called God's Mountain, right? Your book's called God's Mountain?
Yes, correct.
God's Mountain. He's also
Amazon Prime.
On Amazon Prime. He's a fantastic artist. If you want to, I think it's John Scott Art or something like that. Your website. What is your website for your paintings?
John Scott Artist.
Close. I was close. John Scott.
Very as close as good enough.
It's pretty close. So yeah, check him out. And John, it's been a long time. Come back again because I've got more questions to ask you. So I hope I see you back soon. Thanks for stopping by, bud. It's good.
Maybe we'll do another podcast. Jot the questions down, and we'll do another podcast.
That's a good idea.
All Thanks, right, John, Jeff. Good to hear from you.
Thank you. Good to hear from you.
All the best.
Cheers.
Bye.
Don't report. And we've got our good friend here and our most dedicated contributor, Mr. Cake. We haven't seen Mr. Cake all evening. He made it at the last moment. So we'll see what he's been up to this week. And then we have Robbie McKenzie. And then usually what I do, I usually finish at 9. But if I don't finish at 9, I just go to the last person. So I'm just letting you guys know if you want to get in, this is your chance. Because after Robbie, if no one else is here, I'll finish. There he is. Your screen was all black. I thought you were going to act like you were in the black void or something.
Because we've been doing so many fabulous things over here, darling. I love you.
What's going on?
I like to do characters because then I can tell people like they're great and wonderful that I couldn't do just in my regular voice.
Oh, that's a good point. That's interesting. Do you do Freddie Mercury from Queen? Have you ever considered doing him?
I wouldn't even know where to start. What I usually do is just, it helps if you have funny friends that do impressions, and then you pick it up from them, and that's just how it. Like I had a friend that would go, "We will go to the moon and do some other things now because it's easy, because they're hard."
You're a little bit.
Also, my brother died in hail bullets.
Here's the thing: is do you think you could do impressions at the same time you're juggling?
Yeah.
That's
Or
doable.
playing guitar, as long as it's a simple trick, if it's not too complicated. Like I said, I'm trying to get at least 2 or 3 tricks a day.
What is your trick today? What do you got?
Yeah, with juggling.
What's your newest trick besides juggling? You got anything else, or they're just juggling tricks?
Well, I do a little bit of guitar, so I'll post something there. I did another dance, but like I'm not feeling very good. I think I have endocarditis.
Endocarditis.
It's where you have infections because my teeth are breaking off. So yeah, because they harbor infections, bacterial infections, and then like right now I just feel bad, and my hands are cold, my feet are cold. It was a nice day. I didn't even go for a walk. The problem is there's a lack of caring in our world.
Right.
So like, my dad, he filed down my teeth, and that's what really got this going in the wrong direction. And then everyone denied it, and they say it's a mental illness. I even went in today out of desperation just to see if they could do anything, and they said, "Oh, you just got tight muscles and you're depressed," and they want to put me in a mental ward. And I said, "I'm not going in there." So
Did you go to the dental office or just a medical doctor's office?
Just like the urgent care.
Oh, okay. I was gonna say, if you've got, it sounds like you got a lot of dental issues, that maybe if they could, clean them up or give you
Yeah, I
fillings
told you
or
it's
whatever.
the lack of caring. Yeah, they just don't care. That's the problem. And I don't have anyone in my life that cares.
Well, Well, you have 290 people in the chat that I think care. Because I'm pretty sure that most of the time when you come, everybody in the chat, or well, nearly everybody in the chat, loves you.
Yeah, and I appreciate all that. There was a lady, Sarah, and she's Jesus loves me, and I talked to her and Evan, and they're nice people. So they look at this one woman, that the woman that I loved, and that she's not talking, and
if you look at the chat right
punish
now,
me for no reason.
At the chat right now, everybody's saying we care, we care, we care, we care. So there is a lot of love for you from all of us. You see?
And I appreciate that, all that, but it's like in my life, I'm really lacking people that want to make sure things are working out, because I've just been, my teeth were fell down, dumped, destroyed, tortured, abused. I feel like it's bad enough where I could be dead. Like the whole podcast, I was just laying in my bed. I said, well, they like to hear from me. I'm sorry I didn't come up with too many jokes. And,
I was
Joan and me are hanging out.
Yeah.
I got my spirit friend with me. So
I was surprised you popped in so late, because usually you're here early. But I'm glad you made it, because you haven't missed one yet.
Yeah, and I appreciate what you're doing, and letting me come in on here and kind of getting out of my little bubble, little shell that I'm in.
Have you been posting any new? Well, I think you've been posting new videos lately, haven't you?
I did a couple. I did a dancing one and a guitar one, and I got a bunch of impressions and jokes I've been recording, and so I just need to transfer them over.
Yeah,
like one of them was like, "Oh, did you try the new mask? It's magically protecting."
That kind of sounds like
that's my joke.
That kind of reminded me of the Lucky Charms. Do you do the Lucky Charms?
That's what it's about, because it's so absurd that, it's so absurd that just half-ass wearing a mask is like helping something, and like it's just, that's magically protected. That was the joke. When I'm walking around, that's what I do, is I work on just jokes or thoughts or ideas. This may sound weird, but if I'm sitting on a toilet, it's like, that's like the best time to focus because like I can't go anywhere. And then I could just, my mind can just go into full creative mode.
Okay.
Because otherwise it's distractions and.
I don't know. Maybe I was gonna say maybe you should take a pen and a pad and write up your jokes while you're there.
Oh, I have so many. I have so many notes. One thing I mentioned is I came up with what an objectively good person is.
An objectively good person?
Yeah, because every time when people use the word good, they mean in a relative sense. They're like, oh, are you a good? If I say I'm good at golf, that means compared to someone else. So I said, well, is there an objective standard? And I came up with a person's moral. That means they're concerned with right and wrong. They're ethical. That means they take responsibility for their actions. They're principled. That means they tell people to live by. They're not hypocrites. They tell people, do unto others. They're logical. That means they don't commit fallacies. They're wise. That means they've spent their life developing knowledge about reality. They're compassionate. That means they care. They have empathy and care for other people.
That's cool.
And they have to be dedicated. Videos like I had doubt even after having spiritual experiences, I still had doubt. And the only remedy was to dedicate myself to the supernatural. That remedied it. And then now I don't doubt it anymore.
Interesting. Did you have a favorite video of mine this week? Out of anything that we posted?
Yeah, I know you asked. Most of them, I like most of them, but it's like I don't like the overly optimistic that like everything just works out. It's like I think it's a scale. Like for some people, everything works out. It's like down in terms like, let me tell you how to get very rich in this world. First, get a tiny little loan of $10 million. Tiny little loan. Then write a book, How to Get Rich by Getting a Tiny Little Loan of $10 million. It's like for some people, everything just works out. And then other people, it's just a battle every day.
Right.
And the people that everything works out are giving the lectures and writing the books. You know, they're the public speakers. Say, just think of whatever you want and it happens, man. You know, I thought of the Beatles and, you know, it happened. You know, I wanted to be the Quarrymen, you know, but, you know, we went with the Beatles instead because it kind of had a double meaning there, you know, is it the beat? And then, you know, we like to, you know, crawl on the ground, you know, that was surfing Liverpool, man.
The one that I posted the other day was a pretty fascinating one about the man that they were already just telling him or asking him, you're an organ donor, right? Did you see that one before he had his NDE?
What did he say?
If you guys haven't seen that one, it's an amazing one. This man, just before, you know, he was in a terrible car accident, and before he had his NDE, the paramedics were already asking him, are you an organ donor? And do you have a will? Like, what horrible things to sell a person. That guy was great. How to say to somebody, I hope you're are you an organ donor? Well, great. We'll have some, we'll be ready for you when you get there.
He had a really great attitude, and that's what I really like about him.
After speaking to him, I just, you know, because he said that he was singing to God, and I guess they call singing Hugh, which he learned from Ekankar. So I decided to go out and reach out to Ekankar. They have a YouTube channel, and I'm going to have someone from Ekankar come on the show. We haven't set up a date yet, but they're going to come and teach everybody how to sing Hugh, to sing to God. So I think that's going to be a really cool episode.
I'm always singing to my spirit friend over here, like when I got music on.
So. You could sing it to Monique. I wish we could just see Monique.
Great. You're wonderful and great. Every day with you is so wonderful and great.
All right, Stephen. Well,
we live in a yellow submarine too.
I've got to do what I got to do.
Jokes down, so these are off the cuff.
I was saying I got to do what I got to do.
And I appreciate. God bless everyone and have a good night.
All right, bud. God bless you. Take care, and we will see you later. Cheers. Oh, he's gone already. All right, Robbie McKenzie. Robbie has been so kind to be waiting this whole time, so I don't want to forget about him. Robbie, if you can, I gotta do what I gotta do. Mute your YouTube video.
God bless everyone.
All right, bud. God bless you. Take care, and we'll see you later. Cheers. Hey, Robbie. Robbie McKenzie.
Hi, how you doing?
Great. How are you? Where are you zooming from?
From Scotland.
Oh, Scotland. Wow, that's amazing. Thanks for staying.
Wait a minute. Just a second. I've got the YouTube on.
I was gonna say on the YouTube. I think you muted it.
Okay, there we go. That's better.
So thank you for staying up so late with us. It must be like 3 or 4 in the morning, right?
Well, I finished at 1 o'clock, and I usually just chill out and watch a film or wind down because I've been doing readings and channelings all day and all night, to 1 o'clock, but then I was urged, I just listen to my guides and I follow the synchronicities, and I was led here, and I was like, why am I here? And then I remembered the first time that I saw you, I was sent the link because it was a girl in my New York City group, Shauna Dronin. You had an episode with Shauna Dronin.
What was the name again?
Shauna Dronin.
Shauna
Dronin, yeah.
She was a guest of mine?
She was a guest of yours, yeah. She did a show for an hour, and she sent me the link in the New York City group. That she had the book that she was talking about in her interview that changed her life. She does Galactic Council channelings and stuff now, but the book that was the book that she was talking about that she read, and it changed her life. So that was an interest. Shauna Dronin. It was about 3 months ago, maybe about 3
gosh, I feel terrible because I usually can remember. I do a guest almost basically every day except Saturday,
worry, I know.
So I can't
and
remember
you've got
everybody.
there's such a lovely. I was seeing all the different people that are on your the chat and everything. They're lovely. What a lovely bunch of people.
Thank you.
So anyway, I'm a channel for Metatron. So
you're the channeler of
Metatron.
Metatron. Yeah. We've been asking about. I seen you posting in the chat today, and I was like, well, come on and. So maybe you can channel. Is it easy for you?
Well, I'm almost sleeping now, so it's like 3:20. I was saying I was going to give it another 20 minutes, and I've been at it all day. But if you have a look at the Shauna Dronin interview, and maybe you can get me on as a guest if you want. So about 10 years ago, I channeled this book, Metatron. This is the Clarion Call.
Oh, let me see. Can you hold it up for me?
Well, this is the Spanish version. Metatron Questo El Fervido Apello. But it's Metatron. This is the Clarion Call. Is the book that it shows you how to open your Merkaba. So if I know about the Merkaba and sacred geometry and there's a certain meditation.
So you channeled that whole book.
I channeled this book, and I was asked for. I was in Circle 20 years ago, and I was told I was going to channel 2 books by Metatron, and in 2010 I finally did this. I had to fast for 20 days before they would give me one word of it, and then I ended up doing 79 days. I fasted for 79 days, and I channeled this book, which is like a manual. It's a very short workbook to show you how to open your Merkaba. And so I was like, because it's a spiritual thing, I didn't really want to promote it or, get into like marketing or whatever. So I prayed and I was like, what should I do with this? And I was directed, this is 2 weeks after releasing the book, and I was directed onto a meetup site where a guy had bought the book and started a meetup group in New York City to study the book and to do the meditations. So 10 years later, that group's like 1,000 strong in New York City. I've still never been there yet.
That's amazing.
Yeah. And since then, I channeled Metatron. This is the healing book, which is like downloads and upgrades, and it's a very short workbook. And the Galactic Council books, 1 and 2 Galactic Council channelings, and all 4 books I had to channel. I fasted for at least 40 days, because they wouldn't give me a word of it unless I had done that.
Why did they force you into fasting?
They didn't force me. It's completely voluntary, but they wouldn't give me a word unless I'd done the protocols. It's almost like a protocol. We can all do this. Everybody's a channel. We're all telepathic. We're a telepathic race. Everybody can do it. But not everybody is prepared to do the work to clear their consciousness or their filter system, or question their belief system or whatever to get to that place. So I'm not any more special than anybody else. We're all love. So and when you open your Merkaba, you find that out.
So basically, you had to fast to just kind of clear yourself out to be able to get a better communication.
Yeah.
Well, you should contact me. I mean, contact me outside. You'd probably make a really cool guest. We could either do,
I don't mind at all. Have a look at your Shauna Dronin interview, because that was really quite interesting.
So what is with Shauna now? You know her or what?
Yeah, so Shauna, when she came on your show, because she teaches people, shows people how to channel now. She's in my New York City group.
Mhm.
But the episode that she did with you, and I'm trying to think when it actually was. It might have even been last year. It's sometime back anyway. And she was talking about a book that she read that showed her how to open her Merkaba. And that was the book that she was talking about. She comes into the group, like I do a channeling every month in the New York City group.
I'm looking, I may have wrote her name differently. I'm just kind of quickly looking through all my videos, and I see Shauna Francis and
Shauna Francis, is that the blonde lassie? Yeah.
Yeah.
I think Dronan's maybe her married name. Yeah, Shauna Francis, blonde lassie.
Oh, okay, that's why.
Lovely. Yeah, Shauna
Right.
Francis. Is it?
Right. Yeah, it was back in December of about 6 months ago.
Yeah. 6 months ago. Yeah.
Okay.
So, but that was the book that she was talking about.
She was talking about your book during my podcast with her.
Yeah, because that was the book that brought her into the open point of her consciousness.
Oh, wow.
And she wrote about it in her book, actually, and her experience when she opened, our consciousness and her energy. And I was like, oh, that was interesting, but she never actually mentioned the name of the book. in the podcast, she just says, I came across this book, but that's the book. It's Metatron, This is the Clarion Call, and which is the name of my channel, my YouTube channel.
It's called what?
Metatron, This is the Clarion Call. That's what the book is called. And that's what and it's just, that's got all the channelings on it from kind of the last 10 years, really,
All right. Can you give us just a little teaser of your book? Can you give us some little juicy piece of information about something that Metatron tells us something, obviously we can't do the whole interview right now, but some kind of teaser that can get us excited about your book. Something.
Well, this book, if approached with humility, will bring you on a roller coaster ride of your consciousness. And the back of the book is actually channeled as well. Wait a minute. It basically helps you open your Merkaba. It's only like 85 pages. It's very short for a reason.
Well, let me ask you this. You keep saying about opening our Merkaba.
Yes.
What is our Merkaba?
So you see the picture on the front of the book there? It's like a three-dimensional Star of David.
Right.
That surrounds you, right? It's like sacred geometry. And when you concentrate on this shape with certain breathing techniques and certain, points of awareness, when you activate it properly and you spark it open, you have the experience of oneness. That's the kind of ultimate point. When you open it, that's what you do. But there's different points of opening it within, because not everybody's ready for that. Not everybody's ready to understand their divinity, but everybody's divine. So it's about what part in the illusion you're going through, So I'll read you the back of the book. This book, if approached with humility, will take you on a roller coaster ride of your consciousness. It will make your life more interesting and your relationships better. Your romantic life will be much more relevant and loving, and your sexual relationships much more fulfilling and exciting. It will transform your finances in a positive way and teach you how to manifest all the abundance you could ever want, and give you the tools to be the best that you can possibly be in all areas, and approach life with passion, joy, laughter, and fun. This is the clarion call for all light workers. That's the teaser of the book. That's a channeled message as well. Yeah.
Before we go here, I want you to give us one way. You mentioned all these different ways on the back of your book how you can change your life romantically, financially.
Well,
give us one way. Give us one way that you changed your life.
By opening my Merkaba.
Yeah. What has changed for you?
Everything. I wrote about it in Twin Flames, Merkabas and More. That's my own personal account. That's the only book that I've written. Those other books are trance channeled. So I go into a deep trance. I do a channeling, I record it, and I transcribe it.
Right.
And the 4 books, that's what that is. And since doing that, since I opened my Merkaba, my life has completely changed. I used to be a drama lecturer. You know, I used to, I worked as a lecturer for 7 years in Reed Care College. And the year my mum and dad passed away within 6 weeks of each other, and that year that happened, I started in a meditation circle in a church like 20 years ago. And I opened my Merkaba and I started channeling. I found out what it meant to channel, you know, to be a trance channel, to go deep and to have somebody else kind of, you know, have a dual control on my own consciousness, if you like. That's kind of how I look at channeling, you know. And it's about love. We're all one. Everybody's one, you know. So it's just about different ways of accessing your heart, if you like. You know what I mean? So the deeper you are in your heart energy, the more powerfully and more in mastery of your emotions you are, and the easier it is to manifest things, really. And I'm not just talking about like stuff or finances or, do you know what I mean, a house or whatever, but like your state of being, you know. People don't want a house or money. They just want the happiness that will bring them, you know. So the more that you open your heart, the more that you come into that place, you know. To me, that's my experience of it. Yeah.
All right. Well,
I'm sorry that I came to your show so late tonight.
That's okay.
You know?
That's okay.
Yeah.
It was a very busy night, which I love because I love it when it's busy. But again, it's not here, but if you just go to any one of my regular videos, you don't see it in the live videos, but any one of my regular videos, in the bottom of the description, it shows a way to contact me. So contact me and we can schedule you.
Yeah, no worries. You know, everything happens for a reason.
Yes.
So, you know, yeah. And I can send you the clarion call. You know, you can have a wee read of the clarion call if you want. It's up to you. You know.
Well, let's talk about it.
Yeah.
All right, Robbie, I have to run. I have 2 more people waiting on me. It was a pleasure meeting you. Thank you.
God bless. An absolute pleasure. God bless. I'm sorry I'm so tired tonight, but it's like 3:30 in Scotland right now. You know, it's about dawn. Dawn's about breaking. But God bless you.
Thank you.
God bless everybody. You. Thanks for having me on, okay?
Right,
God bless you. Take care.
Bye-bye.
Take care.
All right. Joey is next. Actually, it should have been Jennifer next. Jennifer, I apologize. I thought it was the one on the bottom on this next, but I guess it's supposed to be the one on the top. I don't really understand the order of Zoom. I need to talk to somebody in Zoom. Joey, are you there?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yes, I can. Where are you Zooming from?
So I'm in Austin, Texas.
Oh, you're right down the street.
Oh, really?
I'm in San Antonio.
Oh, you're in San Antonio. Okay, very cool.
Yeah, I've had a handful of guests out of Austin.
Oh, okay.
So
cool.
What's going on?
Well, I'm subscribed to you on YouTube, and
thank you.
I'll come across your videos once in a while, and I like the near-death experience videos.
Mm-hmm. Thank you for watching.
Yeah, I find those really fascinating. You know, just like kind of the only evidence. Like what happens after we die, you know.
Did you check out the one the other day that I posted 2 days ago?
No, to be honest, I haven't tuned into any near-death experience videos for a little while. Been pretty busy. Well, that's okay. But yeah, I'll have to check it out.
I'm glad you said that because I started a second channel. The link for all of you is in the description below, and it's an NDE only channel that I just cut out the NDEs of all my guests, and so they're very short. They're from somewhere between 5 and 20 minutes. So for those of you that don't have a whole hour to watch a full program, but you only have a little bit of time and you want to catch an NDE, that's called JeffMara NDE clips, and like I said, the link's below. If you ever want to, like I said, if you're busy but you want to just pop in and see something for 5 or 10 minutes, those are there. But
okay, yeah, that's good to know.
The other one was pretty amazing because, well, I was saying earlier that they were telling this poor guy, "Are you an organ donor? Like, you got your will ready?"
Yeah, that's a little scary to hear when you're. in the hospital or something. Yeah.
Yeah. So do you have anything that you'd like to share?
Well, I've never had a near-death experience, but I've had sleep paralysis. Have you had like sleep paralysis guests on?
Yes.
Yeah, so that I found that a pretty interesting phenomenon that gets me thinking. But yeah, I could tell you about that for a little while.
Sure, if you'd like to. I mean,
What do
did you have an out of body experience, or do you just what happened to you while you were paralyzed?
Yeah, it's happened to me, I don't know, probably like 7 or 8 times throughout my life. But the first time I was like 14 or 15, and I'm at my cousin's house and it's Christmas, and I'm sleeping on their couch, and it's like the typical near-death experience where it feels like there's some evil entity sitting on your chest. And it like very scary. I think it was like for 3 days, I just felt like an evil presence.
Wow.
It was very bizarre, and I don't think I've ever really told anyone before, but I'm like, I think my cousin's house might be like possessed or something. I don't know, or I don't know. It was just very bizarre. And then let's see, I was and then I was in my 20s. It didn't happen for a long while. And then I became pretty sick with like basically it was like a really bad skin condition, and I was like bedridden for a while, and I had a couple experiences between that, a couple of years where I was sick. But I think there was like 2 that were very prominent. One, my mother gave me like a Archangel Raphael healing book. And I mean, I was pretty desperate at that time because I was like, just wanted to get better. So I cracked open this book, and it's like you can meditate to Archangel Raphael and ask for healing, you know. So I'm reading through these stories. I'm like, all right, I'll try the meditation. I forget what the name of the book was called, but it was like healing with Archangel Raphael or something. But it's like meditate, and then it said like focus on like the quietness and like surrounding parts in your house, or like focus on the picture on your wall, you know, and like try to get into the present moment. But I was just going through the meditation, all of a sudden my body starts vibrating and tingling, and then all of a sudden I'm like frozen again in the sleep paralysis.
Wow.
And yeah, and then I was basically just shot up above the earth, and I just remember looking down at the earth, and it was all kind of a telepathic message. It was just like, stay calm, like here's the big picture, you got like bigger things ahead of you, like this is just something you have to go through to learn something. And for some reason I saw like an outline of Jesus. Like I never saw his like physical form, but it was like, oh Jesus up here too, okay.
Wow, that's pretty amazing.
But yeah, there's that one. And then it happened to me, it usually happens when I'm like waking up, but this was like, I don't know, a couple months later, and wake up and can't move my body. But it's kind of weird because you could see the room, but it's like, do I have my eyes open? Because I'm like still sleeping, can't move. I don't know if my eyes are open, but it's kind of weird because you could see like anywhere you want to focus. So I'm like looking around my room, and I'm like, okay, I've been through this before. Like, don't freak out. Just wait till my body wakes up. But then I noticed there's this like orb sitting to my like right of me, above me, and I'm like, oh, look at this creature thing. It was just like like a drone, almost like a little orb ball. And I had this sense it was just like something watching me, or like writing notes on me. Like, and he was kind of sleeping on the job too. And then I'm paying attention to him, and then all of a sudden he notices that I'm watching him, and he's like, "Oh crap, you're not supposed to see me." And then he like pops into my body again.
Wow.
And I wake up, and I'm like, "Oh, that was pretty bizarre." But
that's pretty amazing. Yeah. And the good thing is that you've had this experience enough now where you're not in fear. You can kind of handle it.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, it's happened a couple times now. It's like, okay, yeah, I just gotta, this is a weird state of mind, state of consciousness. You just gotta like ride it out.
That's cool. That's pretty awesome.
Yeah.
Well, Bud, thank you so much for coming and hanging with me today, Joey. It's nice to meet you. And I've got to run to the next person.
Yeah.
But, don't be a stranger.
Cool, man. Yeah. Keep up your good work.
All right. Thank you very much.
All right. Take care. Bye.
Cheers. All right, she's almost here. And now Jennifer was a guest of mine before. She has had an NDE. We talked about it, and every now and then she pops in and says hello. Hey, Jennifer.
Hi, sorry, I was on YouTube watching.
What? Oh, that's okay. That's okay. What you been up to? What do you got new for us?
Yeah, I'm going to share about my. Oh, anyways, me and my husband was working in our farm here, fencing, ready for the cows to come in for summer.
Cool.
Yeah. So I'm going to share today about. Oh, by the way, belated happy birthday!
Oh,
I was just
much.
watching, but I couldn't join your live because I was in the tractor too, and it was noisy and loud. So
oh, that's okay. I appreciate it. I was telling everybody from the beginning that Jennifer was one of my previous guests. She had an NDE.
Yeah, I remember now.
I don't remember. I got to remember.
202.
What's your number? What podcast number were you?
202.
202. So if you want to see Jennifer's NDE, if you go find number 202, then you can check it out.
Yeah.
So what do you got new to share with us?
Yeah, I'm going to share. Remember I said I had handful of experiences since after I had my NDE. One of those is when I was younger, it was easy for me to do out-of-body experiences. So one of those, again, is I get to meet my my best friend, Jerry. When we were younger, he was my best friend, my playmate. You know, we used to climb trees. We used to go swim in the ocean because our place was very near to the beach. So he was my playmate. He was my best buddy. We played together and everything like that. And then when we started growing up, we separate our ways because I was studying in the city and he was studying into another city, and we did not see each other. We did not meet each other for so long, since when we were younger until that time when we get separated. So I just meet him again when he died. Wow. He died of I don't know the medical term about it, when people die when they are sleeping. Like that. He died while he was sleeping. And so around that night, it's just something get out from my body. I think myself, I should say myself, because I saw my toes. I said to myself, if I am out of my body, I have to see my toes or my hands, to determine that you are aware of where you are, something like that, just to prove that you are in your awareness while you are out of your body. So that's what I do. I look at my toes, I wiggle them, or my hands, front or back. That's how I do it. And so he was in front of me, right in front of me, the whole body. He was right there. And then my awareness, my soul, I was laying down, and then my soul just went up like halfway sitting down, halfway sitting down, halfway laying down. And so he was in front of me, and then he was just telling me that, Jenny, because he called me Jenny. Jenny, I'm going home. I just want to say goodbye for you for now. And then I said, I know where you're going. I said, I know you're going home, right? And then he said, yeah, I just want to say bye to you and we will see each other again. And I said, no, don't ever leave me again. You have to take me there. I know where's that place. I was telling him, I know where that place is. And then he was just smiling at me. And then I was reaching out my hand to him that I want to hold him and go with him. And then he was keep on saying, but he was not talking like what we are doing now, right? With our mouth. We were just talking with, our mind. I don't know how to say it, telepathically. And then he was telling me that, no, you can't go with me. You have to stay. It's my turn to go home. And then I was insisting myself, telling him, Jerry, I know that place. I know how to go there. Take me. I want to go there too. And he was just smiling at me. And he said, no, you can't go with me. And so I said, then we haven't seen each other for so long. Why are you leaving me again? And then he said, no, I'm not leaving you. I just have to go home. It's my time. I have to go home. And then I keep on insisting, I know you're going home and I know where that place is and I want to go with you. And he was just smiling. As far as I can reach my hand, but my whole body, it's only my half body was staying with my physical body. My spiritual body couldn't get out 100% from my physical body. It was just, I was so tied with my physical body that I couldn't reach higher for him to grab or to hold him. And then as far as my hand was reaching out to him, trying to hold him, trying to, go with him, he was trying to fade away. Like he was kind of like floating. I don't know how to say it, floating or something, but in physical word that I can explain, the closest way is floating away. But I don't know how to explain it, It's just this is getting far away from me.
Right.
And then he was fading away. And then I said, okay, if you are really going home, show me your reality. So when after I said that one, my soul, I don't know how to say it, I just call it soul. My soul went back to my body. And then I fell asleep. And then in my sleeping, it feels like I was inside my dream, but I am awake inside my dream. I don't know how to explain it, but that's the easiest way for me to illustrate. And so he was showing me where he lives, the structure of the house, his bed, and then how his body died. So he showed me what was his position, what's outside the house, what's inside the house, what's the structure. And then so I remember those. And then in the morning, after my dream, my sister woke me up with the telephone call. And then she said, hey, Jenny, good morning. I said, yeah, I just woke up. And she said, did you know Jerry died last night? And then I said, oh, really? Yeah, I know. He came to visit me. And then she was like, oh, really? Because they don't believe me, right? And then so I said, yeah, I can even tell you how he looks like and how his house or what, everything. And then I said, he showed me how his body looks like. He was laying down. His one right leg was crossed to the left leg. And then his right hand was on top of his head like that. And that's how he died. And then his left side was a big window, and then outside the window you can see a big tree. And then his house was made up of wood, and then he was only by himself in this room. And then my sister was shocked, and she said, oh my gosh, did you know that the funeral people, the funeral parlor, that the people that put medicine when you're died, and then said that they have hard time on fixing his body because it was so tight already that his hand, they couldn't straighten up his hand and in his leg. And then I said, see, I told you he came to visit me and he showed me. Why don't you believe me? And then they just shook the shoulder, my sister, because they don't believe me. They said, my sister just said, you're just making it up. Maybe someone called you or someone told you already before me. I said, no, I just woke up. And then he came to me last night, like that. So yeah, that was one of my out-of-body experience. One of those.
That was a fantastic story. Thank you for sharing that with us. That was cool. Yeah. That was really cool. It's kind of like you would almost can call that a shared death experience, although you weren't there when he died, but it kind of was like one.
Yeah, that was one of my experiences. Yeah.
Cool. Well, come back and share some more with us.
Yeah, I've got some.
All right, Jennifer. Well, thank you for popping by.
My husband wants to say hi.
Oh, hi, husband. Hello.
How are you?
Good. What's your name, sir?
Ross.
Ross. Nice to meet you, Ross.
Yeah. Thanks for doing what you're doing. It's
thank you.
Cool.
Thank you. What is that picture on your shirt? Is that an astronaut?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, he's a fanatic of
I'm a lunar lander fanatic.
Oh, great. Well, have you heard that NASA now said they're going to join in the research of UFOs?
Oh no, I didn't.
Yeah,
actually hear
if you go to my @JeffMara Facebook page, I have an article up. I just posted it. It was from the Daily Mail, but it talks about how NASA's decided they're going to start now searching for UFOs.
With the Pentagon, or
I don't know. I didn't actually. I just posted it. I need to sit down and read the article myself. But that's there on my Facebook page if you want to check it out.
Oh my gosh, that's interesting. I mean, there was a guy that retired from the Pentagon who's really come out and talked about. Now they call them something else, not UFOs.
They call them UAPs.
Yeah, exactly.
Did you know, Jeff, that one of his relatives was one who designed, what was that?
Oh, my great uncle was he was the manager of the team who modified the 740 piggyback the shuttle back in the 80s.
Wow.
So he worked for Boeing. He worked for Boeing's, and then Boeing made that souped up or refixed up the 747 so it could piggyback the shuttle, and he was in charge of that.
Oh, that's amazing. That's amazing how they were able to just piggyback that thing.
That's barely.
Yeah, how that could even fly is unbelievable.
It barely had enough power to do it, but it did it.
Yeah. Well, it was a pleasure meeting you. It was great seeing you again, Jennifer. I've got to run.
Yeah.
But thanks again, and you guys have a great rest of your weekend.
Good night.
Good
Good night.
Nice to meet you.
Nice meeting you. All right, guys. This is an excellent podcast. And we went way over time. We had a busy night, so that's awesome. I love it when it's busy, when we're full of guests. So hopefully it'll be like that from now on. Again, thank you guys so much for coming and hanging out with me on this Saturday night. I wish you all the best, and take care. God bless you guys, and I love you.